Happy Monday to everybody except for Anthony Fauci. They found his diary. Real question, Ryan. If you're in the middle of the greatest pandemic of generations, why are you writing everything down in a diary?
It does seem like just a question of how do you have the time?
Well, yeah, there's that too. Also, I'm thinking, what if somebody reads this? No diary has ever been written that nobody else read. That's why you have diaries. They're to be found.
Dear Diary, Dr. Burks looked at me kind of weird today. What's up with that?
I can't get through the rest of the show without talking about this, and I will say that there was a child of a very young age, maybe 3, 2, I don't know, that every time they would, in our family, toot, they'd go, Dear Diary. I don't know why.
Let's just get that out of the way then.
Every time I hear the phrase Dear Diary, I'm like, say excuse me.
Oh my gosh. That's going to be today.
Somebody taught them that, the little one, and they did it, and it became a very funny thing.
No, this is this diary thing is a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
And before we move on, I just want to say, because we're already making this point, who, and I'm sorry if you are this guy, but if you are a grown man, outside of you're in the Civil War or the Revolutionary War,
where there's no other documentation of what's happening whatsoever.
Right. Who keeps a diary?
Well, when you read his diary, I think you start to understand why. Anthony Fauci loves Anthony Fauci. Blech.
Clearly.
Gosh.
Put it on underwear.
Yes. How much of this have you dived into?
Today. I didn't see it break yesterday. I've been really getting into it today.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't have something. I was going through your stories for the Monday Roundup, and like, you don't get Fauci, Ryan. We're talking about Fauci all day.
I knew we'd be all over that.
And you didn't. So, okay, here are some actual entries of the Fauci diary. And I will tell you also that Wednesday, he's testifying in front of, yes, Congress, but Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Rand Paul's life mission is to eviscerate and destroy Anthony Fauci for what Anthony Fauci has done to this country.
And it's great that he has, because usually if it becomes your life mission to do one thing, it kind of becomes like, okay, like Massey hating Trump or something. But this isn't that.
This is almost for the people.
He keeps pulling back layers, and you keep finding out more.
These are different entries into the diary, and there's some images that belong to these. But Anthony Fauci would take images from the internet and put them into his diary. Had to check out these donuts for myself. The owner of Donut Delight says he wanted to honor Dr. Fauci for all the hard work he's doing for our country. Says he is literally selling hundreds of these every hour. And I'm going to tell you what, the donut looks pretty good. I think I would eat that donut, but I would take that gross sugar film, looks like a mugshot of Anthony Fauci. Do you see this? I don't know how well you can see this on
see here.
It looks like,
okay,
that's not a flattering picture of him.
It's not a well done picture.
If I was, changing the world and they were going to put my face on a donut and they picked that picture, I wouldn't share it in my diary.
He doesn't care whether he looks good or not. He cares if it's him.
Dr. Fauci red tie bobblehead. It's another picture that he put in there. Brinkley says after the coronavirus pandemic starts to recede, Fauci is likely to go down in history, quote, as one of a few scientists who are now household names. And then a montage picture of a bunch of, wait for it, white middle-aged women wearing Fauci T-shirts. So the story surrounding the Anthony Fauci love affair with Anthony Fauci is going to come to a head this Wednesday when Senator Rand Paul has him under oath. Why is it important to remember? What is important to remember about Anthony Fauci when he comes to testify? This man has immunity. This man has been given immunity from any of his actions during the COVID pandemic, so on and so forth. But listen, when you have immunity, if you are put under oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you perjure yourself, that all goes away. If you impugn yourself because you are not speaking the truth, then you are in big, big trouble, Bubba. And so it should be interesting to see what Dr. Anthony Fauci has to offer on Wednesday. Fox News reports Newly released diary entries by Dr. Anthony Fauci offer an unfiltered look at what the nation's top infectious disease expert really thought of the politicians, television personalities, and celebrities who filled his orbit. This man had orbit. Do you have orbit?
You guys.
Oh.
Sorry.
Why not say your family?
They're cool too.
During the COVID-19 pandemic. I can't dive into that. Released by Senate Homeland Security Committee Chairman Rand Paul of Kentucky, the diaries chronicled Fauci's day-to-day role during the COVID-19 pandemic through meetings, phone calls, and personal observations. The release comes days before Fauci is scheduled to testify before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee after being subpoenaed by Rand Paul. Entries feature everyone from President Trump to Julia Roberts, Steph Curry, Larry Ellison, and Hunter Biden, offering an unusually personal look at the people who crossed Fauci's path during the COVID-19 pandemic. On X, and very interestingly so, on X, Rand Paul has a series, a thread, if you will, of things that you need to understand and know about Dr. Fauci's entries into this diary. I'm really curious to see, what is supposed to be exposed. You know, if you were to say right now, Ryan, if someone was asking, what is the big question surrounding COVID? I don't know that that is something that would be answered. There are a lot of different ways you can go. People want to know where it came from. Well, I think we kind of know where it came from. I think the bigger question is, why did it come from there? I don't think it's the where or the what. It's the why. Is this a bioweapon that was intentionally unleashed on the United States of America, but by way of the world? Is there some sort of collusion between a lab leak in China and Americans who were investing in this possibly happening? Was it supposed to leak? Did it get out and it was never supposed to happen? I feel like when I'm thinking back on COVID and I'm processing in my mind what was going on, I do remember being very scared. I do remember the day that they shut down the state of Illinois, which meant we weren't coming back into the studio. And for me, it took me 18 months to get back because Molly was born in June of 2021. And so I got pregnant and had her in June and then had 3 more months of maternity leave. So I didn't come back until Labor Day of 2021. I think it was March 17th. Is that the right date?
September?
March 17th was the shutdown, I think. Wasn't it?
It was the center of March, yeah.
From that time all the way to Labor Day of 2021, I was not in the studio.
Yeah.
I was in my basement doing the show from a makeshift studio as we all figured out how to work from home, and then had the maternity leave where I was off. When I think back on that those first March days, there was so much that we did not know. Because I look back on a lot of stuff that took place, decisions that were made, compliance that was freely given by so many of us who are now incredibly skeptical about the whole thing top to bottom. And I'm very adamant that we need to chronicle what our memory of it was and our experience of it was, because even, 6 years removed now from being in the thick of this, I can't believe that we did what we did. I can't believe that they did what they did. It's very easy to look back in Monday Morning Quarterback and go, what were we scared of? Or why were we? There was a legitimate reason to be afraid because the people who were flooding the hospitals were dying en masse. And a lot of it had to do with we didn't know how to treat the people, which is part of a pandemic where something comes in, it gets to you, you have to react fast. But it seems like there were so many things that we reacted to that moment that made it so much worse. The virus in and of itself wasn't the scariest part about it. It was what we didn't know and how aggressively we headfirst cannonball, dove, double flip with a handstand at the end. Was like, let's do this. And it killed so many people. But we can't ask questions about any of it. We can't assess mistakes that were made without trying to de-lionize the Anthony Faucis of our time. There's a lot that's weird looking back. It's so weird that I, as an analytical person who likes to ask questions for a living, I don't even really 100% know what the right questions to be asking. Like, drill it down for me. What are the most important questions that you want answered about what happened during COVID? Because it's going to happen again in our lifetimes if we don't know which questions to demand answers to.
So the big thing that I keep seeing, and Fox News is reporting this, so I'm not just like looking at the random internet, but Fox News is reporting that Fauci, and there's so many things, but I'm just highlighting one of them right now, that Fauci knew from his diary and wrote that the case fatality rate was only 0.2-ish. And then went out and reported publicly to the world that it was 100 times, put 2 zeros behind that it was 2%. I hope I did that math right.
Well, I've got the Rand Paul memo that highlights the things that we have to know about what came out of his diary.
Okay.
And we're going to go through that when we come back. But to your point, it's not even the specific numbers that matter so much. It's the fact that he's writing in his diary one thing and he's testifying to America and the world. Because, boy, all you need to do is ask Anthony Fauci. He's a global sensation.
Yes. That's another disgusting thing from these diaries.
It's multi-layered. It's like a lasagna.
That's a nice way of putting it.
It's like a bad lasagna.
It's a bad lasagna. It's been the sun.
Yeah. Take that and quote that to somebody and be like, if you don't understand, it's okay.
Yeah, Annie Frey Show said
you can read.
The Fauci diary was like a bad lasagna. It's been the sun.
They're like, you mean like a bad salad? What did it do to you? The YouTube poll for today, there are a lot of rumblings right now that Kamala Harris is gearing up for her 2028 run. I want to know from you on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, on the text line as well, do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Have you read these options yet, Ryan?
Yeah.
Do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Yes, I support her. Yes, she's terrible. Or no. No, just simply no. Vote in the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live there as we are on the radio here, 97.1 FM Talk, each and every day. The live chat poll is in the live chat of that YouTube video, but we want your text messages as well. A lot of feedback being requested from you today on the Anthony Fauci diary reveal as we lead into that Wednesday testimony. 314-241-9797 is the text line, 314-241-9797. We'll get into the highlights from Senator Rand Paul, what you need to know from the diary, next.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bull Pack paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you could all imagine, that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, that went well. Stand by.
It's only on you. I'm fine.
Everything is fine. Everything is awful. We put Anthony Fauci in charge here, and then all of a sudden things went crazy here. How about this? If we play this sound, this is an interesting sound clip from Anthony Fauci, but it's important to understand that no, not yet. I'm glad that,
Panic at the Disco.
So you have malaria, tuberculosis,
November
HIV.
2019.
These are things that are there. And then the other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new, whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by bioterror.
So just in case that our initial oopsie there didn't let you focus in on what he's saying, this is November 25th, 2019. It's like his Thanksgiving wish.
Oh, my gosh.
November of 2019, he's like, you know what I'd really like to do?
These are things that are there. And then the other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new.
Ooh. What kind of thing? What kind of brand new thing, Fauci?
Whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by
Really, the only question that I have here from Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, after the fact is, was COVID a brand new pandemic or was it an attack?
No kidding. Why would you say that too? Oh, I hope to be able to respond against maybe an attack on us. Wouldn't that be great?
Or a brand new pandemic.
For my career?
We've got just the thing.
My gosh, I can't believe that clip has never been shown.
I haven't seen it until all this stuff's coming up right now. But the other thing that you got to remember here, November of 2019, I mean, we were talking about coronavirus in America in January. Because I went on a trip at the end of January to Florida, just a long weekend trip. And people had just started wearing masks on planes. And we had a conversation on the show like, Annie, are you going to wear masks on the plane? And at that point, it was like, masks on a plane? I don't know. I don't think I'm doing that. But I was like, maybe. I don't want to get it. Because that was circa the time where Nancy Pelosi was like, come to Chinatown. All the Chinatown people are safe. You have to come to Chinatown or you're a racist. And we were like, what? This is a weird pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I remember at that same time, it was January, I randomly had Rachel Zimmerman from the Dave Glover Show read a line, and it was a comedic something. And she said in it, oh, and you've been in China. Wuhan, China. Like it was already becoming a thing in January.
Yeah. January. So to hear that this was taking place in the end of November, there is development in China well before I just, that happened. It is what it is. Take it for what you want. You guys are all smart enough to understand that. Here's the list of things that Rand Paul wants you to be paying attention to when it comes to the Fauci diaries. And this is a very good precursor study to testimony that's going to take place Wednesday, where Fauci has been subpoenaed to testify in front of the Senate committees, which include Rand Paul, I believe, are chaired by Rand Paul. And he has immunity. If he lies under oath, he's not immune to telling the truth. That is like the only thing that he has to do now. Doesn't have to worry about what he talks about because he can't be prosecuted for what truth he tells, but he absolutely can be prosecuted by any lies or deceptions that he tells.
Ooh, now this is going to be real interesting then on Wednesday.
Chairman Rand Paul, MD, has this. I think it's really funny that this is about his diary. This is a direct tweet from Rand Paul, and it's written in pink cursive with little doodles on it, and then it's got a lock, like a key lock emoji type of thing, and it says "Do not open." And
I actually thought it was fake the first time I saw it, and I go, this is from Rand Paul.
This is from his @Sen Rand Paul X account. During his time as NIAID director, and particularly during the COVID pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci took meticulous notes about his work. He made note of conversations, decisions, and his thoughts about actions taken by politicians and other officials. This is his own historical record containing almost daily entries. Later in the pandemic, he gloried in the positive attention he was receiving from legacy media and demonized those who questioned his official narrative. Like me. And by me, obviously, that's Senator Rand Paul. Many entries in Fauci's daily historical account completely undermine the official narrative that Fauci and other public health officials espouse. So if you, to pull back from what Senator Paul has here in this document, remember that Rand Paul has been on this freight train for quite some time, squarely focused at Anthony Fauci. I would think that Senator Paul would consider the full truth-telling of the story of Anthony Fauci to be his life's work in the Senate, should he accomplish what he is targeting here. The first point on this highlight sheet from Senator Paul regarding Anthony Fauci's diary, he says, the first alarm went straight to Fauci. On January 31st, Jeremy Farrar patched him into a call with Christian Anderson. Eddie Holmes was already in the loop. They were not trading internet rumors. They were staring at the foreign cleavage site, discussing deliberate insertion and weighing whether the virus had escaped from a laboratory. This is January 31st. There are entries that are discussing the possible lab escape of this virus, January 31st, 2020. Going on here, before most Americans knew there was an origins debate, the government's top infectious disease official was already confronting the lab scenario. Why would he know that? Why would he know to look there? Why would he know that this coronavirus was present at this lab? Why would they be considering that? How would he know? Second point here, he didn't just join the process, he set it in motion. After the January 31st warning, Fauci proposed a larger expert group called HHS officials, consulted Alex Azar, and brought in Francis Collins. The government then split the work into two tracks, a security side review through OSTP and the national academies, and an international scientific track led by Fauci and Farrar. Fauci was not on the edge of the origins inquiry. He was helping design it from the first night. To me, this feels like you got a hunch, you got an idea. There are questions as to the funding and the knowledge of the funding of this lab and of this type of research being done on a coronavirus, funding coming from Fauci known quantities. To me, this looks like we have to get ahead of this. Put me in charge of it. Third point here on this document. So everything we're talked about so far, January 31st, 2020. The February 1st call was not a consensus for Nature. The call included Collins, Farrar, Valance, Anderson, Holmes, Faucier, Drosten, Gary, and others. I don't know those names. According to Fauci's own account, Fauci and Drosten argued for a natural origin. So you had people in this conversation saying that this just materialized naturally in an environment and became what it is. Not that it was some sort of contrived thing in a lab that escaped in one way or the other. Quote, the rest thought deliberate insertion was possible. With Xi Zhengli's coronavirus work hanging over the discussion, Fauci wrote, quote, we could not let this go, end quote. His diary describes a room divided over a lab scenario, not a room that had ruled one out. Let's get to a break right here. But, you know, you covered for me a lot during my maternity leave when the show went through a little bit of a revamp. And you kept getting our show in trouble because you were talking about things like vaccines and the efficacy of it, even just questioning it, Ryan. And also, you weren't allowed to say Wuhan.
Oh, yeah.
You
it was
couldn't say
crazy.
it.
The censorship from social media was freaking unbelievable.
And that was into the second half of the summer of 2021.
Thank God there was no censorship on the air.
Correct. Never once.
Never.
Never once. And we didn't do a different show because the social media outlets were punishing us for it. But you better believe that our show and every other show in this realm, we're not unique in this, but we are definitely a part of it. We're set back years in our ability to grow our show via our social media platforms. One of the reasons why I push so hard to get you guys to join us and collectively participate with us on social media is because we have been so squashed by these entities because you said thing like vaccine or Wuhan on the air. And Fauci was having that conversation on February 1st of 2020. What a jerk. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Homeowners, a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling. That's leaving money on the table. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure they're getting top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. Call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
In the race for state senate, candidate Tricia Burns is missing votes. In just 4 years, Tricia Burns has missed over 400 votes in the Missouri House. Tricia Burns just didn't show up to vote 400 times. Like the vote blocking China from buying our farmland? Tricia Burns, absent. Banning DEI in state government? Absent. Ending taxpayer-funded abortion? Burns, absent. When conservative values were on the line, Tricia Burns went missing 400 times.
Mike Deering for state senate, he shows up and fights for us, for our farmers, for our families, for the conservative values that built Missouri.
I'm Mike Deering. I'll fight to protect our conservative values, and I'll be there every single time.
Mike Deering for state senate, showing out to fight for our conservative values. Paid for by friends of Mike Deering, Megan Kaiser, Treasurer.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. usmensmedicalcenter.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
The YouTube live live chat poll today is, do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Your options are yes, I support her, yes, she's terrible, or no. I'm seeing a lot of no's so far. Let us know what you think.
FR says on our YouTube channel, I can't believe their cupboard is so empty that all they've got is Kamala, serious talent vacuum.
Well, that's what the polls say. I mean, we're just going by what the Democrat polls are saying. So let us know what you think about Kamala's future. It is 12:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
2026 is a big year for America, and we'll be here with you, celebrating every step of the way. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to be with you. Ryan just mentioned that poll about Kamala Harris. There's a lot of rumors swirling that she wants to run for president again. I have a theory on this. I have a theory that she hasn't said no. You know, it's if people are asking you a question over and over again, it's attention. She likes attention, clearly. I don't think she's the one. I don't think she's the one who's saying this. I don't think she's the one who's putting this out there. I think the people who don't want her to run for president are starting rumors that there are rumors that she's running for president.
The people that don't want her to run are starting it now.
Starting rumors that there are rumors that she's going to announce her candidacy once again. I think that the best way to get Kamala Harris out of the race is to predispose the American people to feel like they have to go through this again and to get a lot of negative, bad energy out there about her run, so it maybe stops it before it officially ever starts.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
That's what we call 3D chess.
Well, the problem
That's
is
what Kamala Harris calls
the
3D
polls
chess.
agree with it. I mean, she's the front runner right now.
Well, to go back to FR's comment, yeah, but who else?
Right.
Let's go back to the Rand Paul Fauci diary reveal. There was a comment on the YouTube. It's like, is this like an actual diary, or did Rand Paul put this together to make it seem it's Fauci's diary? These are Fauci's words.
Yeah.
These are documents that are in possession of Congress, of senators, that are actual Fauci word for word takes on a day-to-day basis as to what was going on.
That graphic that we had up was a summary.
Yes. It's the Rand Paul points that he's pulling off, but it's all based on Fauci's own written word.
Right.
Here's some more highlights that Rand Paul is saying that you and I need to know about. The public story hardened. On February 6th, the government's first formal review found no clear evidence of malfeasance regarding COVID-19, but still said the issue needed investigation. By April 17th, Fauci was telling the country the virus was, quote, totally consistent, end quote, with a natural species jump. By May, he was brushing aside a laboratory accident as a circular argument. The possibility that had triggered urgent calls, a security review, and an international conference was suddenly presented to the public as barely worth entertaining. So initially, they have this conversation with all of these, super smart scientists, health people, and it was the prevailing thought among those people that this was not natural and that it could have been maliciously inserted into our environment. And there were two people who were like, this could be natural. I think it might be natural. Fauci puts himself in charge of the investigation into this, and by May, this is where you and I know, as broadcasters who are covering this on a day-to-day basis at that point, that we were not allowed to talk about a lab leak.
Oh, that was so faux pas.
We should find the YouTube disclaimers about what you were not allowed to mention.
YouTube was the Ministry of Truth.
Yes.
They were the ultimate censor in the United States. They and a few others.
More here from the Rand Paul, because I think that this is going to be, this is going to be the foundation of the testimony on Wednesday. Again, to remind myself and everybody listening that Wednesday, Anthony Fauci is going to testify in front of a Senate, at a Senate hearing chaired by Rand Paul. Rand Paul is the one who has been pushing laboriously to get Dr. Fauci under oath. It is so imperative that you understand that Dr. Fauci has been given immunity. And you're thinking, well, then he's in the free and clear. No. If Dr. Fauci has been given immunity, he can be subpoenaed. He can be called to testify. He has to testify under oath to swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And if he doesn't tell the truth, he cannot plead the fifth. That is off the table. He doesn't need, when you plead the fifth, you're invoking your right to not incriminate yourself. He can't incriminate himself because he has immunity. The Fifth Amendment, that doesn't apply here. He is good to go as long as he tells the truth. Should he go under oath, deceive, lie, tell half-truths or mistruths, they can pressure on him. They can get to the bottom of real answers here. Under oath, if he lies and perjures himself, he does not have immunity from that. He does not have immunity to deceive the American people. He has immunity, freedom to be able to speak wholly and truthfully to what actually occurred so that the American people can have the truth. And should he decide not to do that, he's in big trouble. More from the Rand Paul document. When questions returned, the fight moved to messaging. In May 2021, Fauci wrote that HHS Public Affairs, again, May 2021, HHS Public Affairs officials resisted an NIH statement, proactive talking points, and direct responses to congressional inquiries about, Ryan, I'll let you say it since you weren't allowed to for so long, Wuhan. His warning was blunt. If the government stayed quiet, it would look like, quote, we were covering things up. If the government stayed quiet, it would look like we were covering things up. That is exactly how deep the credibility problem had become. The fight was no longer confined to, in words, the science. It was now about what NIH would say and what answers Congress would receive. The next point here, Fauci pushed back on the FBI's lab leak case on July 7th, 2021. We are well over a year into this at this point. On July 7th, Fauci met with Beth Cameron and Mayor Bitar, the NSC's senior director for intelligence programs. That's National Security Council's senior director for intelligence programs inside the EEOB SCIF. That's a secure facility. Fauci wrote that the FBI had, quote, no idea what they're talking about, end quote, because it was convinced COVID originated in a laboratory leak.
Wow.
July 7th, 2021. He then urged the National Security Council officials to work closely with Anderson, Holmes, Gary, and Rambout, the same scientific circle at the center of the early origins call. Fauci was not just listening to the intelligence debate, he was actively arguing against the FBI's position and directing officials towards the experts he trusted. Rand Paul highlights in his next point, Fauci's defense came down to allies and definitions. This is like what it depends on your what the definition of is. After another conversation with Anderson, Fauci wrote that he felt, quote, much better, knowing Anderson backed what he had been saying. Then late EcoHealth reports showed increased viral growth and sicker mice. Fauci acknowledged that some would call it, quote, gain of function, but held the line. It was not gain of function, quote, by our definition, end quote. By then, the argument had narrowed from what actually happened in Wuhan to who got to define the terms. This is how the game is always played, and this is how the game is won. It's my favorite thing is to reject the premise. You always, when you're in a discussion with somebody, in a political discussion, an argument or whatever, don't argue your point by accepting a false premise, because that's how these things are often debated in a dishonest capacity. What Fauci is saying here is, by our definition, it's not gain of function. Well, what about other people's definitions? What other definitions exist out there? When you own the message and you are the messenger, you get to have that moment, and you keep truth and discussion and the ability to discern away from the American people because you're protecting something. This is the bottom culmination of what Rand Paul put on his X profile, which you can see as well. Sen Rand Paul. What he wrote privately, what Fauci wrote privately, the scientists were staring at the fur and cleavage site and talking about deliberate insertion, which means the scientists were saying that this was deliberately put into our existence. If the virus came from a lab, an accidental release was considered the more likely scenario. That's what he wrote in his diary, that an accidental release was the more likely scenario. What did Anthony Fauci say publicly? Fauci said the virus was, quote, totally consistent, end quote, with an animal to human jump. Weeks later, he dismissed a natural virus escaping from a lab as a, quote, circular argument. They set the terms and they were the messenger, so they were able to control the message in our discussion as an American public, and we were so scared the whole stinking time. When you look back and you're like, why were we so compliant? Why were we following arrows down the baking aisle in Walmart and getting nasty looks from the Meemaws who were out there policing the arrows and the flow of traffic and the 6 feet of distance? Why did we put ourselves through that so willfully? It's because we were terrified, and it turns out the entire time we were terrified, it looks like Fauci was covering up the truth, controlling the message, redefining understanding of words and terms to benefit himself. And on Wednesday, Anthony Fauci is going to be questioned under oath with immunity, yes, but not the ability to plead the fifth, not the ability to lie and deceive. He will have to tell the truth. He will, if he does not tell the truth, and Lord knows that what Rand Paul has revealed in these diary entries, Rand Paul's got more than what he has not shown his full hand on the table for everybody to see. Anthony Fauci better tell the truth, or he is in huge legal trouble on Wednesday.
This is a turning point in American history, I really believe, because this is now part of world history, and I can't find an area of it that wasn't based on a lie. Everything that we were told in that first year especially. Now, we can get into the later, like the 2021, the vaccine, everything separately. But you talk about lab made, how deadly it was, the efficacy of our response to it. Literally every single thing we were told from the top brass, being him, was false. It was all lies. And for us to have gone along with it and are now seeing the truth, to me, this is a big, big deal.
That's how you keep this from happening again. And to go back to my original point, the amount of questions that we need to get answers to, there are so many that it's hard to order them in the correct way. The only way that you can actually find out why this would have been done, the insertion is the word that is used in the documents here. The only reason we can find out why would somebody do this? Why would somebody create a virus and accidentally or intentionally insert it into our environment? The only way you can ask those questions why is if you know exactly what. And it sounds like we're about to understand a little bit more of the what, because the why is where the sausage is really going to be made on finding out what actually happened here with COVID. So many people lost their lives in a panic over this, and it sounds like based on bad information. Wiggins America Monday Roundup next. Don't go away.
Hey, it's Scott Jennings, and what does America mean to me here on our 250th birthday? The future of Western civilization, the future of human liberty. That is what is at stake in our world right now.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
The wait is almost over. St. Louis, mark your calendar for Friday, August 1st. Tickets go on sale for the 39th Annual Budweiser Guns N' Hoses. Join us Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday, November 25th at Enterprise Center, as firefighters, police officers, and EMS personnel step into the ring to fight for a cause bigger than themselves. Every ticket purchase supports the Backstoppers, providing financial assistance to families of fallen and injured heroes. Don't wait. Secure your seat starting August 1st at stlgunsandhoses.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. The $5,000 sweepstakes is back with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Since 1926, celebrating 100 years. The genuine, the original Overhead Door. That's where winners go.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Wait, what was that song? Was that
Mr.
another?
Vane.
Was that another night, another dream? But
No.
always
Call me
you.
Mr. Vane. Call me Mr. Wrong.
I don't know if I know that song.
Insane.
Now I just want to hear another night, another
what
dream.
I want and I want it now.
No.
I want you. Mr. Vane. It's like your song,
Mr.
man.
Vane, and then it goes another night, another dream, but
Only
always you.
in the club.
Yeah, right. They do mix those
With
together.
the right DJ.
All right, this is the weekend
Ethan.
or the Monday roundup where we look at all the weekend stories that you may have missed.
Hello. Hi, thank you. Say hi. Say hi to
Oh,
your coworker.
Ethan. Come on, Ethan.
He's here to make you better.
You know, there's just certain songs that just sound like Wiggins America, and that's usually what I tend to pick them based
I
off
love
of.
that the song's name is Mr. Vane, and Ethan probably didn't even listen to it.
He absolutely picked that based on the title. I'm not even vain. I just am on the air.
No, it's more so just...
That's selective vanity. Okay.
It's just a public persona because it's funny.
Go ahead.
Personally, I'm super generous and I'm a super nice guy.
Why don't you go ahead?
C.A.
Why don't you go ahead and share your stories before I start saying mean things?
All right. First one
the airwaves.
is that Rob Schneider is urging Texans to elect real conservatives. Do you see this?
I love Rob Schneider.
So this is
Make
interesting
some copies of that guy.
for a variety of reasons. One is that, and nobody say you can do it in this segment, or I will be upset.
You can't do it.
Okay, thank you. He usually has said, even though he's a Trump guy, because he said that publicly, that he is a libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've ever seen him say, no, we need to elect real conservatives.
The other ones are socialists.
I mean, I don't know where to draw that line anymore.
Conservatives are a lot closer to libertarians.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Libertarians are conservatives who have not gotten enough attention. Go on.
Schneider wrote in a lengthy X post on Monday, that would be today, this morning, accusing Texas leaders of failing to address what he described as a growing threat coming from both Marxism and Islam. He says, quote, when I look at the single most important red state in America, Texas, and see how little has actually been done while this threat expands and consolidates power, I feel a personal responsibility, he wrote. Now, Governor Abbott has spoken about some of these issues, including Islamic groups in the state, saying, quote, the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE have long made their goals clear to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world, said Governor Abbott. But nonetheless, Schneider is saying that Texans need to elect leaders who will take a more aggressive stance and get real conservatives into office concerning these issues.
You can do it, Texas. You can do it.
You were waiting that whole time.
Primary long.
Unbelievable.
Felt so good.
The primary's over.
Felt so good.
I just think it's funny that Rob Schneider is calling out somebody like Ken Paxton for not being conservative enough.
That's where we're at.
That is where we're at. Wow. All right, next one is this is a family show, right?
Sure.
It was.
And you talk about vain.
What? Okay. I'm just going to say that a intimacy doll company has struck a very bizarre deal in the United States. Now, this robotics company called Realbotics has long struggled to beat allegations that it's basically making intimacy dolls, not regular robots, because all of them are very voluptuous. All their robots.
They're just here to vacuum.
They're designed.
Big word, Ryan.
It says that their main robot is dubbed Aria, and it is a platinum blonde, well-endowed, and tends to be...
It should be named, if they were serious about it, they should name her Marge.
The robot is decked out in tight-fitting sportswear at all the conventions that it attends.
Marge and a moo-moo. That's what she should be.
But now, in Salamanca City, somewhere in New York, they are ready to dig deep into their budget and deploy one of the company's humanoids in their classrooms.
What?
They're going to buy a robot named Sally.
Oh.
And it will serve as a teaching assistant for high school students enrolled in STEM classes and arts courses.
Game over.
$57,000
through
this
the roof.
Android costs.
How much?
And $57,000. It has silicone skin, a dazed expression on her face, and an ill-fitting wig made of long brown hair.
This is terrible.
The school superintendent, it's real though. The school superintendent
Not the bee.
has said that students will find a way around most of the rules, so we got to use AI.
What?
That's the response. It's like, well,
It's like waving the white flag.
they're going to do it anyway, so we might as well get an intimacy robot wearing sportswear.
You want to use a robot to help education? Maybe I could be interested in that, but
The boys will pay attention more in art class.
Will they?
No, yeah. I don't know if that's really what they're going to be paying attention to. Steve Moore and Dave Rubin next.
If you like that comfortable setting to hang out where people know your name, check out Lit Cigar Lounge. My friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are fantastic. Brian and Dana and Andrew and Charlie and Nick and all of them down there are going to get to know you by name because it is a family-run business in the Chesterfield Valley in the district. They've got an extensive selection of bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails and some of the best hand-rolled cigars from around the world. Check them out at the district or go online to litstl.com.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
If you're a business or brand that's still paying for ads people skip or ignore, that's cute. Try a new method of advertising your customers can't mute. Join our mobile movement so you don't get left in our dust because stationary billboards are a bust. Big, bold, loud, and in-your-face advertising that doesn't wait for traffic. We drive through it, bringing your business or brand right to your customers' eyes. You can't delete it, you can't trash it or swipe right. Hell, you can't even ignore it. The answer? The moving billboards, baby. We circulate around any high-traffic venue, capturing people's attention when they're making decisions. Inside stadiums, big brands compete for attention, but outside the stadium, we own the street media. Because in a world that's went mobile, your advertising should too. Try moving billboards. They really work. PinkTiger.ai.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your Politicians Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people, and the Politicians Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Ford 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, allowing a minority of the most liberal statewide voters in one district to effectively end our power to stop corruption and out-of-control spending and taxing.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the Politicians Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
To Brady, Fox News. The man who admitted killing 4 university students in Idaho, Brian Koberger, wants to take back his guilty plea, just filing the paperwork to begin the process nearly a year after being sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Obviously, a bombshell development with this case. And we're going to have to see how this moves forward and what happens here.
Fox's Max Gordon, in a statement to the New York Times, Koberger calls it self-evident that justice was not served in the case, also calling the state's narrative a work of fiction.
Clearly, he was, not satisfied with his legal defense. He feels that he was essentially pushed into this guilty plea, misled into confessing to the killings. You have to really feel for the family members.
The 4 students were stabbed to death in an off-campus house. Koberger's guilty plea avoided the possibility of a death sentence if the case had gone to trial. A new statement just posted by Savannah Guthrie in the search for her mother, Nancy.
It has been months since our mom was taken from us.
Renewing the family's plea to bring her home.
The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place, and I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you, to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her.
Adding it's never too late to do the right thing. Nancy Guthrie's been missing from her Arizona home since early February. Optimism from President Trump on Iran.
We're having good talks, so we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen, and if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago.
This after a pause in fighting over the weekend. The president now in Michigan for an event at a GM facility. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It is the hottest day of the week, maybe even the hottest day so far this summer. Sunny, hot, a real soupy feel out there. 99 to 100 degrees for the actual high. The heat index 110 plus. Clear, very humid tonight. 79 for the low. Tuesday, sunny, still humid. 93, 89 and lower humidity Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your air conditioner needs service anytime, day or night, Air Comfort Service has almost 60 years of experience and is family-owned and operated right here in St. Louis. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not nearly a sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
The YouTube live chat poll for today. You can text us your thoughts as well. 314-241-9797. Vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. Do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Yes, I support her. Yes, she's terrible. Or no. I think that a lot of people are going to have to assess what are the big issues facing us in 2028 and the amount of roller coaster dips and dives that we will go through before 2028 where people, like it'll be May of 2028 and people will be like, it matters what's going on in October. Okay. Well, it's July of 2026. Let's dive headfirst into this. Do you have thoughts on what do you think the likelihood is? Would you put your money on Kamala Harris being the nominee or against it?
Oh, being the nominee? No way.
No way.
No, she won't be. I do think that she will drag that out for as long as possible. The question I thought you were going to ask was, is she actually going to run? Because I don't even think she will.
To me, the only way she runs is if she is certain she's going to be the nominee. What could be worse than her complete and utter failure of the campaign that it was a disaster.
It was horrible.
And here's the thing, what is her book called? 100 days or whatever, 106 days or whatever. You needed 60 less days.
That's right.
You needed to ride the euphoria of the honeymoon of woman of color runs for president.
And savior from Biden. Because the Democrat
and
Party
Trump.
And yes, it was running as hard as they could from Biden, and she was supposed to be the savior.
I don't know how much bigger of a repudiation a political candidate in 2024 could have had than for the nation on the whole, a majority, popular vote majority, an electoral landslide. If it would have been the other way, if that's how Biden would have won, they would have said domination.
Yeah.
For this country to be like, we'll give Trump another shot. Yeah. How bad do you have to be for this voting electorate to be like, I'll roll the dice with Trump, or I'm not showing up to vote for you. I'm not voting for that guy. He's crazy. Orange Satan over there. But I cannot use the integrity of my vote to support you. How bad does one have to be to lose in that scenario? And not just to, what a close match that was. No. Do you remember how dismal their celebration party was outside of that, whatever, HBCU I think that they were at? And it was just dark the whole time. Nobody had energy. Nobody had excitement. They knew. And I believe they knew way longer than they ever obviously let on.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard before that the Trump team was watching numbers come in, probably the same as Harris's people. They saw the first numbers come in, and Trump's team went, oh, that's good. Harris's team probably went, ooh, that's bad. From the text line, a couple of people saying, oddly, on the text line, that yes, they do want her to run, because mostly what I've seen on the stream is that they don't. So maybe there's a little battle between the stream and the text line going on here. But this one says, let her run. Word salads versus common sense.
Man, if there was ever an opportunity to compare salad to what you get from it. The cyclospora of elections.
Yeah.
Elect Kamala Harris for explosive diarrhea for an unending amount of time.
Next one says, hi, AFS team.
Hi.
Former VP Harris has to run in order to solidify the belief that she would not have received the votes in the primaries to have been a legitimate candidate in 2024.
Wait. So that Kamala Harris can...
So she can show that she would actually have
That she
won a
earned it.
primary. Yes.
But what's the only thing worse than proving that she would have earned it is proving that she wouldn't.
Well, I think actually this person may be making the inverse point of that to say that he thinks or she thinks that if she ran, she would show that she wouldn't win in the primary, but that would be her motivation for running.
So she thinks, I'm going to run and I'm going to prove that I was the one that they wanted all along, but it ain't going to go that way.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
this concludes with, I only pray she doesn't. She doesn't win.
How do you feel this poll? Do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Yes, because you support her. Yes, she's terrible. Or no? How do you think it's going to shake out with our audience?
I think that no is going to win because the yeses will not be entirely split, but some people will say, yes, I support her. That number will be about 5%. And then some people say, yes, she's terrible because that's what I say. I think she should run. That would be great. But the majority just don't want to mess with it. I think no is going to win.
So you remember when Joe Biden was withering on the vine in the primaries? And then I remember I was driving home from Effingham, Illinois. I was at an event with a lot of the state Republican representatives. And it was one of the, I feel like it was one, I have to go check the date on this. It was one of the last public events that I went to in 2020. And Joe Biden looked like the hot mess that he is, that he always was. Like, it's not like, they elected a salient, cogent person into the office and he just deteriorated so fast. Oh, stop it. He had no support in the 2020 primaries. He was doing miserably, especially for a vice president. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, we quit. We endorse Joe Biden. I think it was after South Carolina or right before that.
It was.
And Klobuchar and Buttigieg and did Beto run for president?
I don't know if Beto. Well, we always remember Klobuchar and Buttigieg because they had each won a state at that point.
Yeah, it's like,
and
why are
Biden
you
hadn't won any.
dropping out? And so they did, and it was just so incredibly bizarre. And then he just kind of coasted.
Yeah.
After that. And when he started talking about vice presidential picks, Kamala Harris dropped out before the Iowa caucus. She never even put herself on the line to get a vote in a primary when she was running against Joe Biden. When Biden was talking about picking a vice president, I almost didn't say it out loud. I know I did, but I'm like, do not pick Kamala Harris. The day that she dropped out of the presidential race, I was like, oh, praise the Lord, because I could stop covering her. She was so bad. She was so terrible. Kamala Harris dropped out of the primary before the Iowa caucuses. And I remember MSNBC, RIP, was on air talking about how racist America was. And I'm like, it's a Democrat primary.
It's so
These
funny.
are your people. Why are you saying this about your people? You're saying that the Democrat Party is too racist to vote for a black woman. This sounds like a you thing, not an us thing. She drops out. Weirdly, everybody else ends up dropping out after Joe Biden doesn't look like he's getting anywhere. And I was sitting there thinking the whole time, it's going to be Kamala Harris. It's going to be Kamala Harris. Why? To personally insult me. Because I do not want to cover her and her stupid word salad all the time. And then, of course, not only does she become the vice president, but then she becomes the presidential nominee, and we have to cover her all the time. And I still tried not to.
Well, if you remember, we had good reason to believe that it might be Kamala Harris because Joe Biden had put out a demographic checklist of who he was going to select.
Pete Buttigieg, do not apply. Too white.
Too white.
Too male.
Yeah. Yeah, he said black female.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the main thing he said.
Yeah. There were like 5 people that were seriously talked about. Valerie Jarrett was one of them. Stacey Abrams was one of them.
That's right.
Kamala Harris obviously was one of them. I could think a little bit longer and harder about who that might have been. But the qualifications to become the vice president were 2 things that were completely out of the control of the person who bore them. It's outrageous. Lots of discussion about who that primary or who that nominee will end up being for the Democrat Party. Here's the thing that people need to understand. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is polling at the top. AOC, Little Miss bartender turned squad leader, kind of the OG of the squad, is actually considered the front runner right now. I think she is starting out because she has always had that really strong, solid support. Ryan Wiggins loves to talk about the 30% of this country who thinks that Joe Biden nailed the debate. Somebody tweeted at us this weekend about.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, it's like people who are like super favorable
to socialism.
Yeah, 30%.
In the Democrat Party.
They're the same people. So does Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have the support of the Democrat Party? Or does she have the strong support of the 30%? I think that I really think it's more of that. And I think that is a reconciliation within the Democratic Party that they're going to have to make. They're going to have to join or repudiate.
Yes.
Before 2028. Maybe not before the midterm, but before 2028.
Their problem is that contingency in their party is growing. Because Fox News just did a poll.
I wouldn't say growing. I would say metastasizing. Is that the way to say it?
That's very good. So the Fox News just did a poll, and MS Now was reporting on this on TV. They were using Fox News' poll to point out that, and by the way, Fox News polls, they're not like right-leaning. They're really not.
Yeah,
if anything,
polls.
they get criticized for being left-leaning polls because they're trying to combat the narrative. But anyway, I digress. That poll said that over 50% of the Democrat Party is favorable to socialism. So I'm sure it's in the way that you worded, are you strongly in favor or strongly against, that kind of thing.
We're having Dave Rubin on in 15 minutes to talk exactly about this. Like, what is the influence or how serious? There's layers to this. And in a midterm, you really get to kind of shine the spotlight on the Democrats. Like, what are you going to do about it? Now, if they get elected, if the primary candidate that wins is a socialist and it's a blue through and through district, that socialist is going to Capitol Hill. That's a problem for all of us, most certainly. Great dissension in the ranks of the Democratic Party is a benefit for the Republican Party. But at some point, it's kind of like, to me, like it's a seesaw. It's kind of a balancing act. And the socialists are there. You have to acknowledge them. They control New York City right now, as well as other great big cities across our nation. New York City, obviously, being city number one, market number one. Mamdani is... he's a great example of somebody who I see clips of things that he says, and it makes me so mad that I don't want to talk about it, which is maybe the wrong attitude for a show host to have sometimes. But he's just made an announcement. They're opening 5 government-owned, run grocery stores, and prices will be 30% lower for all the groceries in the store.
Oh my gosh.
30% lower.
I'd shop there. And I wouldn't shop at my main grocery store. So what's going to happen in the main grocery store?
Well, you'll shop there. They're going to run out of products. And are they paying, how are they getting the hard costs down 30%?
Right.
Who's working there? How much are they making? They're not making from the profits of what's being sold if it's a government-run grocery store. You're paying for it by living in the city of New York City. I hate it when I say that.
Yeah.
That's how the process is going to work. And if the earners and the makers end up leaving New York City because they don't want to bear the burden of these incredible tax increases and they go elsewhere, what happens to the income that funds the 30% sale that you get on those groceries? Plus, what groceries are going to be included in this grocery store? What if it's a success? Is it possible that a grocery store run by the government could be a success? We're certainly going to find out. We're going to break here real quick. Dave Rubin will join us at 1:30. Looking forward to having him on to talk about the influence of the Democratic Socialists of America, what they're offering. They're very, very confident that they are headed in the right direction. Dave Rubin in about 13 minutes. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440. The Bagel Loan is a new mortgage or a mortgage refinance that doesn't come with any closing costs because Stewie, who does business with you directly, takes care of the closing costs for you. I've refinanced twice with Stewie using the Bagel Loan. There were no closing costs. And in addition to that, the second time I did it, I was able to once again lower my rate. Got one of those really great low rates from when the economy sucked and everything was super low. But I was able to use the equity in my home to fix the deck on the back of my house and provide a safe place for my kids and myself to spend some time outdoors with the equity that we've all built in our homes over the course of time. Right now, for the next year, if you want to get your 30-year loan on a new home purchase locked in right now using the Bagel Loan, no closing costs, for the first year of that new purchase 30-year loan, he's going to offer you a 1% discount on your rate. This is an incredible time to connect with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage at 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant healthcare program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
You know Zero Res, the zero residue carpet cleaner that leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Don't risk it with the other guys and skip the DIY disasters that leave your carpet soaked for days. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet zero resified starting at just $129. Call 314-474-2020 or visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Fox polling shows voters want major changes on top issues. Good morning, Lauren. What changes?
Good morning. Well, 4 in 10 want revolutionary change. That shows voters are unhappy and could register their discontent at the polls in November. Voters telling Fox that Democrats would do a better job on 7 of 9 major issues. Pull it up and we'll go from the bottom up. Voters favored Democrats by 22 points on income inequality. Dems are up 21 points on health care. They're up 10 on inflation. They're also leading on the economy, foreign policy, government spending, even immigration. Republicans lead on crime and on national security. Both parties say they are motivated to vote, but 68% of Democrats say they are extremely motivated versus 57% for Republicans.
So whenever I take in these polls, like Fox News there is showing, I'm always asking myself, are the polls reflecting people's real understood experience, or is there a messaging issue motivating certain groups of people to think or believe certain things are happening because of one party versus the other? Let's talk to someone who actually understands the economy inside and out. Steve Moore joins us once again, co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, host of More Money, and author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Steve, welcome back to the show. Happy Monday to you.
Hey, Annie, I hear it's very hot.
Oh, my gosh. Sweltering. Stay inside.
Oh, my God. Well, we had that 2 weeks ago in D.C. It's a little cooler here, so relief is on the way. But, oh, my gosh, I know you feel like you're in a sauna, right?
Yes, it's very, very nasty. I want to ask you about when you see these polls from Fox News and they're talking about people being dissatisfied with the economy. Affordability is the word of the term, I think, right now. Are these people who are responding to these polls? Do they have accurate information?
You know, it's kind of a conundrum because on the one hand, all the polls are showing the same thing. People are dissatisfied. They're angry. Consumer sentiment is low. And yet, if you look at the actual economy, it's doing quite well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an A economy, but it's a B economy. We're seeing, we just saw last week, really an amazing, my jaw is still dropping over this statistic that last week, did you hear about this? We had fewer layoffs, people laid off from their jobs at any time in the last 50 years.
No, I hadn't heard that.
That's incredible. 50 years. I mean, you'd have to go back to the time the Beatles were still together, to find a time when we had fewer people laid off, which is especially amazing because the labor force is almost twice as large as it was back then. So that's telling you there are jobs out there for people who want them. Then you look at what's happened with people's incomes. So median household income is up about $3,000 over the last 18 months. That's a pretty nice increase, and it means there's more affordability, not less. Then you look at the stock market and American companies. I mean, they're doing so well. Our economy is the envy of the world, Annie. I mean, every other country in the world is like, oh, my God, how is it the U.S.? I mean, Europe is flatline. Britain's nowhere. They've had, 7 leaders in 10 years or something. They can't get their thing straight. Our stock market has grown 10 times faster than China's has over the last 15 years. So, we're the hot economy right now. I'm not saying, I know a lot of people are hurting. I know, people don't like paying high grocery prices and high gas prices. But for the most part, this is an economy that is doing very well.
Yeah, Steve Moore speaking with us right now. That takes me back to my initial thought on this. And I usually assume it's a bit of both. But maybe the good economy elements that are seeing success right now, those positive numbers that you're highlighting right here, the message isn't getting through to people. And if people are basing their own judgment on how, gas is up to $4.20 again now in my neck of the woods, and grocery prices, it's very expensive. I got a family of 6, so we got to buy a lot of food. It is just expensive. Is there a messaging issue right now with the right side of the aisle to make people understand what has been done?
Well, maybe a little bit, but the perception is reality in politics. So if people are feeling bad about things, it doesn't matter how I can spout the statistics, but people aren't feeling good about their lives and they feel like they're struggling, then they're struggling.
Right.
And so, that's the fact of the matter. I would just give you one statistic. We just came up with this yesterday. We just did the computations that 81% of the rise in prices in things like food and gasoline and healthcare that people are angry about happened under Biden. Not Trump. That was under Biden that those prices went way up. Now, we've seen some increases in prices under Trump, but not nearly like what we saw under Biden. But, overall, I'm pretty bullish on the U.S. economy. We had something in our hotline today. If you look at what's the industry of the future, obviously AI is coming. It's coming rapidly. 12 of the 15 top AI companies are here in the United States, just like 12 of the top 15 internet companies are here. So we're still leading the world in technology, which is a great thing. And I feel like, if you look at the median family income today, do you know what the median family income in the United States is today?
Not on average,
Annie?
no.
Take a guess.
Ooh, 180,000, something? I don't know what.
Yeah, you're pretty close. 80.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually above. It's 87,000 now. Now, that in most countries, $87,000 of income, you're rich.
Massive wealth. Yeah.
So that's our average. And so, we by the way, this is kind of an amazing statistic too. We mentioned this on Fox News earlier today, that the United States last year created more millionaires than the rest of the world combined.
So, okay. I want to follow up. I want to follow up on this point. Yeah, because you're talking about the massive wealth that the American economy has created for Americans alike. I did a poll on this question last week, and I asked what our listeners thought about how much of the affordability issue is actually an American concern with fixable overspending. Consumer overspending. Have we gotten so over our skis that we can just have what we want when we want, that we realize down the road, ooh, I couldn't afford that at the time? Is that a consumer problem or a government problem, or maybe both?
Well, that's a tough question, because you know who the biggest borrower in the world is.
Yeah, us.
United States government. So we're not setting a very good example, are we? We just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And I just saw something that the cost we pay each year in our budget just for the interest payments on our debt have tripled in the last 10 years.
Elon Musk said that we're screwed. Did you hear that clip? He said that we can't get out of our economic woes. Our debt's too big. Do you think that that's accurate?
He said we cannot get out of it?
Yeah. He said that there are some major changes that would have to be made, but that our debt is so enormous at this point that a massive, crazy sea change would have to happen. I wish I had the clip
No,
to play for you.
I think Elon Musk's one of the smartest people on the planet, so who am I to disagree with him? But I think what he really meant to say is we have to fix things, and of course we do. Of course, everyone knows that. You can't just keep gorging and eating and getting fatter every day and not do something to change your lifestyle. And that's what we have to do in the U.S. We have to grow the economy, and we have to put the government on a diet. You think we can do that?
The first way to solve a problem is to admit you have one, Steve.
There you go.
I know you've been singing that song for quite some time. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. It's good to talk to you. Stay cool, because I think this heat that we're having, we're probably sending it your way. So
boo!
Stay inside. Take care,
All right,
Steve.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to take a break here on the Annie Frey Show. When we return, Dave Rubin will be with us. We're going to talk to him about socialism creep in the Democratic Party, but maybe it's past the time where the socialism is creeping into the Democratic Party, because if they are continuing to gain the ground within the Democrats' arena, pretty soon that becomes the rest of our problem. Have we gotten there already? Dave Rubin reacts on the Annie Frey Show next. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Gully washer rain this weekend coming in to your lawn, down in through the foundation of your home, into your basement. You've got big problems. These are compounding issues that you have to address to maintain or restore the integrity of your home. The foundation of your home, it sets off everything else that's going to go wrong in your house. And if you don't get it fixed by the right people the first time, the headache gets even worse. So talk to Home Shield Foundation. Call Matt Hayes, 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900. Talk to Matt Hayes about the issues you're experiencing. He's going to come to your house. He's going to go to your basement, and he's going to tell you, this is what you need to get fixed. This is how we're going to fix it. We're going to put a lifetime warranty on the work that we do in your basement, because we stand beside it. He believes in his team. He believes in the integrity of this service, and they're going to offer that to you, and you're going to have all the information you need before you make the hire. 314-271-9900. Reach out to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
250 years of capitalism, private ownership, and rugged individualism. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate.
True.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then let's go back through some of those then. Abolish the Senate. There are people who are in the Senate now who are very supportive of DSA. They lose their seats?
Well, the Senate is an anachronistic institution.
She's like, well, I don't know what. We'll find a place for those people. Yeah, that's what dictatorships do. Gosh, could the Republicans come up with a better advertisement for why not voting for the blue side of the aisle, which maybe now is just full-on socialist? I don't know. Dave Rubin might. He joins us now. Excited to have the creator and host of the Rubin Report on X at Rubin Report. And you can read him, rubinreport.locals.com. Dave, it's great to have you back on the show. Thanks for being with us.
It's always good to be with you. I can already answer your question. Yes, they are full-blown socialists. They will be communists in a year, and probably something much worse once they have a little more than... Right now it's just a dash of jihad, but when they do that from a dash to a spoonful, it all gets much worse. That's probably in 2 years.
Yeah, too much spice in the pie. It takes over the whole thing and ruins the entire mess. Dave, I think that we've watched Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's a bartender turned House representative, and it was kind of like an exhibit that you could take in of what somebody like AOC could do in and of herself. But it didn't. Nancy Pelosi didn't take her seriously. The people in the House, the Democrat Party, didn't take her seriously. But then there were more of them. They multiplied. They were the squad. Is the squad, have they taken over? Is that the epicenter of where this socialism creep has come from?
Yeah, I mean, look, the inmates are running the asylum right now, and the real problem that the Democrats have, for all of the bad ideas that the Democrats have, which is pretty much everything's always just bigger government, higher taxes, more inefficiency, all of that, I do believe that a certain set of, let's say, moderate Dems, again, they're not really moderates, but they're moderate Dems, they don't hate America. So, let's say Chuck Schumer, even Nancy Pelosi, Pete Buttigieg, Hakeem Jeffries, they're horrible politicians. They have bad ideas. They never do anything good. But I don't think they fundamentally hate the United States of America. I don't think they have a particularly healthy respect for our institutions. I don't think they know how to govern properly. But I don't think they absolutely hate the founding of this country and everything that's happened for 250 years since. This new crew, the Mamdani crew, and I definitely include AOC in that because she really is the national head of it, although it feels like all the energy right now is around Mamdani. They hate the country. They think that it is fundamentally evil. They don't like three branches of government, as that woman just said. They don't like separation of powers. They don't like borders. I mean, if you don't have a border, you don't have a nation. It's as simple as that. So, but the problem that the Democrats have right now is they don't have any adults. Yeah. There is no one that can stop this thing from coming. Obama probably wants it to come. And, Bill and Hillary, again, I don't think they hate the country. Obama maybe does. I don't think Bill and Hillary hate the country, but they have no influence anymore. So there is nobody left to do anything to stop it except for poor John Fetterman. And I hate to tell him, but maybe he's listening. John, you will be one of us in about a year.
Yeah, you already are. You just have to identify as one. That's kind of how it works now, right? Dave Rubin speaking with us right now, host of the Rubin Report. I think to myself about some of my friends, people who are, a lot of our people in our social circles who don't do what we do for a living are repulsed by all of it. And then they dip in a few weeks before the elections happen, and then they care, and then they realize, yeah, I really hate this. There are some of those who might hear some of these socialist plans and go, well, that sounds nice. They don't understand the breadth and the depth of, because they don't care to pay attention to it because it repulses them. There's a real danger to what this Democratic Socialist of America is proposing and the wind that they've caught in their sails moving into this midterm. Do you think that there is going to be a socialist wave of success in this midterm right before us?
Well, I can give you the white pill and the black pill on this. The white pill version is sort of what you said a few moments ago, which is that this is just not what America is. If more Americans hear this and see it, and particularly we're going to have the anniversary of 9/11, and Mom Dami is going to be there, and he shouldn't be there, and I lived in New York City during 9/11, then those people don't want him there. The more the light gets shined on socialism, communism, and again with this dash of Islamism or jihad or whatever you want to call it, the more that I think the average American will step away from it. So that would be the white pill version. It's like the Republicans maybe aren't great, but they're not commies. Okay, right. Something like that. Great branding, right? Now the black pill version is what you just said right there, that that you can make the complete counter argument. And I'm not sure which one is right actually, but the complete counter argument would be that just the average nominal apolitical person who doesn't really think about this stuff or understand history or whatever, they just go about their life. I'm not even judging them for it. They've stayed out of this headache. That they're like, oh, these socialists want, Medicare for all and seem to be nice or diverse or something. I'll vote for them. And then it's only 3 years later when you realize you're in the gulag that this thing didn't work out so well. So I think you can argue it either way. I will say what I say on my show all the time. I am not as depressed about the midterms as everybody else is. Everyone's saying it's just going to be an absolute bloodbath. I think the more light we shine on these people, it's to my former point, the more the average American will be repulsed by it. The DSA guys are winning Democrat primaries where virtually nobody votes. Chevalier in New York 13, it's a district of 750,000 people. And it was something like 77,000. About 10% of people voted, and she got about half the vote. So roughly 35,000 people voted for her. So that doesn't mean it's scaling. But again, you have to give the devil his due here. You got to go, well, they're organizing well. They have a lot of energy and everything else. And the Dems don't have good defenses. So we shall see.
Yeah, Dave Rubin speaking with us. That show he's talking about is the Rubin Report. Highly recommended here on the Annie Frey Show. I think that the summation of what this socialism is all summed up in Mamdani's smile. It grates on me. Yes. I don't believe it. I can assess the way a man is smiling at me and understand what he wants in that moment. And the smile is so fake. It's to encourage the person receiving that smile to feel a certain type of way and not to think a certain type of way. Don't use your brain. Use your heart. Wear it on your sleeve. Be one of us. Be a socialist. That's really dangerous.
You are so completely right. As a matter of fact, just a half hour ago before I jumped on the show, I just tweeted something about his smile and the sliminess and the fakeness. I'm a true New Yorker. I was born in Brooklyn. I grew up in Long Island. I spent about 20 years in New York City during 9/11. I was there during 9/11. My dad saw the second plane hit. My grandma lived in Long Island, in New York City. I had great-grandparents in New York City. I know what that is. New Yorkers old school New Yorkers have a way of sniffing out these fake people. And he is so obviously one of them. He is trying to implode and destroy New York City while he's smiling. Let's not forget, Ronald Reagan 50 years ago basically said when socialism comes one day, it'll come with a smile. They're not going to come with the hammer and sickle first. It's going to come with look at all the things we're offering you over here. But again, the guy has only been mayor for what? It's barely 7 months right now. And a lot of people that were not against him 7 months ago are seemingly talking about it right now. So we'll see how the next couple months go. But, the other thing with his thing with Netanyahu is I think he could probably be at least looked into by the Justice Department in that he tried to get the New York City Police Department to arrest someone who's committed no crime on no American crime. There's no crime that Netanyahu has committed, right? I don't even want to get into just the lies that he's, putting on Israel and Netanyahu and everything else. But there's no crime, according to American law, that Netanyahu, so he's trying to use the police department as an apparatus of his own personal wishes. There might be something about that they want to look into. But it's all very, very dangerous and toxic. And he wants all hell to break loose. Let's just be very clear about it. What he wants is when that UN General Assembly comes and Netanyahu shows up, he wants all hell to break loose. And he wants the New York City police officers to have to be fighting with the citizens so then he could say, see, Netanyahu got the New York City police officers to attack you. He is trying to destroy New York City, period.
Yeah, it is reminiscent to me. I can't ever stop thinking about it, of Bane in The Dark Knight.
Yes!
He's like, I'll give the city back to its people. And everyone's like, yay. Like, especially the prisoners. They're like, we'd like to come back out there with the people. And then he opens, whatever. Dave Rubin speaking with us right now. The last question I have before we let you go, we've set the table for what the midterms are looking like, but the Democratic Party as a whole, how it might affect elections here to come. What do the Republicans need to do to message against the sneaky, snarky smile of socialism that's crept into the Democrat Party?
If I, for 1 second, I can't give up the opportunity to do my Bane impression
Please.
here. You know, what does he say? What does he say to Batman? You visited the darkness. I was born in it, which is, I'm pretty sure that means he was from Uganda. Sorry, what was the question again?
How do we beat it? How do the Republicans beat it here in the midterms?
You beat it by I think probably returning to some of what Donald Trump maybe was a little bit better messaging at around the origins of MAGA. You know, you get back to how is it that Donald Trump brought together this unbelievable coalition that can take sort of religious conservatives and then, you know, the disaffected liberals and the new guys like, say, Rogan and Bobby Kennedy and Elon Musk and bring them all in. Well, it was all in the big tent of loving America. And then, okay, you feel this about abortion, I feel this about that, but we all love America. The irony of what the Democrats are doing right now is they're saying we're wide tent because we're welcoming the socialists and the communists and the jihadists. Well, they're there to burn down the tent. That's the problem. You're bringing arsonists in to burn down the tent. The Republicans just have to get back to, look, we believe in common sense. We believe this country is fundamentally good. We're here to celebrate it. We like our Constitution and Bill of Rights and things like that. And I know that's not the sexiest sell job. So here's where Trump probably has to do something a little better on the branding side. But I think that argument is way easier to understand, and it's obviously fundamentally right, rather than, okay, come to our big tent. Boy, we're going to burn this thing down and we'll see how it turns out.
So well said. Do you love America or not? The answer is clear where your party vote should lie. Dave Rubin, always a pleasure to have you on with us. Thank you for the time today. It's good to have you.
Good to see you, Annie.
Talk to you again soon. We appreciate it. Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report on X at Rubin Report. You can read him as well at rubinreport.locals.com. This is such an important conversation that needs to be had right now, and it's all surrounding the direction of the Democrat Party, but it's gotten enough steam that it is everybody's problem right now, and if you don't pay attention, it will be in a position of power over you, over me, over all of us, and that type of power is very, very hard to overturn once it gets its stranglehold on you, your district, and the country. Let's take a quick break here. We're going to get Ryan back in studio with us. That YouTube poll is asking about the rumors that are swirling. Kamala Harris is, do you want her to run for president again? Yes, because you support her. Yes, because she's terrible. Or no more Kamala. YouTube.com/@Annie Frey, Frey. You can text us your thoughts as well at 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
Never miss a beat. Take 97.1 FM Talk with you. The voices you trust, Mark Cox, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon, Scott Jennings, and more are just a tap away with the Odyssey app. Stream 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone check free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, Or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet August 11th at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, August 11th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The big bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number two, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam, boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
I'm Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, and I want to welcome you to Missouri for the Matches. We are on alert for human trafficking. It's often in plain sight. It's people who seem isolated, controlled, or who don't have their ID or money. To share a tip, download the Simply Report app or call 1-833-5-BE-SAFE. We need your help to stop human trafficking.
Sponsored by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
All right, today's YouTube live chat poll is, do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? You have three options. One is yes, I support her. Yes, she's terrible. And then no. The text line, 314-241-9797. I'm just going to read one of those. It says, that's a very big no in all caps. Let us know what you think. I think that one's pretty obvious. 149, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
You been following what's going on in the Senate with the Save America Act at all?
I guess it depends on what you mean by what's going on in the Senate. I love this song. Let's just go.
Mitch McConnell out of hospital, still not medically cleared to return to Senate. That's news on McConnell there. Fox News reports Senator McConnell is out of the hospital and on the mend after suffering a fall last month, but he still isn't medically cleared to return to the Senate. His office on Monday released the latest update on the longtime Senate Republican who has been absent from the upper chamber and the public eye for over a month. The Office of the Attending Physician said in a statement that McConnell continues his recovery from a fall at home in June. Did I miss, maybe this was when I was on vacation, did we know that he fell?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I think that was while you were gone.
But was the fall the problem, or was there something wrong with him that caused him to fall that added to the problem?
I'm not sure we knew. And in fact, I think for a bit there, they weren't releasing anything.
Yeah.
They weren't saying even that there was a fall.
That's kind of what I was thinking it was like he was gone, he was not well, and there were people talking about proof of life. And then in the midst of all of that, Senator Lindsey Graham dies. That's still crazy to say out loud.
That is weird.
I just not really, I don't think I've come to grips with that. Here is a very important issue facing the United States Senate. It's the Save America Act. Senator Lee is not okay with Senator Thune's want and desire to go to recess. If they take their recess, which I think starts here maybe at the end of the week, if they take their recess, they do not come back until September 14th. Here's
Wow.
Senator, yeah, I know. How do we get one of those gigs? Here's Senator Mike Lee, July 20th, I believe is the date, on the floor.
Both simultaneously be back into session in the Capitol until, wait for it, September 14th. Mid-September. This is the last week, absent some change in the respective chambers' meeting schedules. The last legislative week until mid-September, which will take us to just, what is that, 6 weeks before the November election? That is unacceptable. We don't have a lack of time, Mr. President. We have a lack of spine. Don't ever confuse lack of time with lack of spine, because they're two very different things. If we truly lacked time, that would be one thing. We've got time. We're just choosing not to use it. We're choosing to use it differently, and I would add very poorly if we don't take this up. Take it up now and stay on the bill until it darn well passes. The Senate should stay here tomorrow, this weekend, next week, through weekends and long scheduled recesses, as long as it takes. If opponents want to block it, let them do so in public. If Democrats want to filibuster this bill, let them stand and speak like actual senators, actually filibustering, because that's what filibustering is. And if they don't show up to do that, then we call the question. We call the vote, and we do so at a simple majority, because that's what our rules allow us to do with votes when they don't filibuster. But you can't have the benefit of filibustering if you're not willing to filibuster.
Oh, yeah, Senator Lee. Get to it. I want to see the Senate not go home. Even if the thing fails, even if the Save America Act is not in a position to actually pass, should it be calling the vote at 2 a.m. and there's not enough people for a quorum or whatever it might be, I want to see him try. Do it the way you hear Senator Mike Lee talking about, the way you've heard Senator Eric Schmidt say many times on this show. Do your job. Show up. Do your job. Here is Senator Kennedy.
Maybe take a few extra days. Look, I mean no disrespect. I love John Thune. He's my leader. He's got a big brain. He's better looking than me. But I think he's just being too cautious. He wants to spend the rest of our time talking with Senator Schumer about shutting down government. And the Graham Plattner wing of the party, his party's not going to let Schumer agree with us. They already want to give Schumer a bathrobe, a popsicle, and an early bedtime and have him retire. I don't think Chuck can agree with us. I think he's going to shut down government.
I want to go back. You just said you wanted to move forward on what the House just started the process on. That would be a party line.
Ma'am.
That would be a party line vote. That would be Republicans jamming this thing through. And the SAVE Act, as you know, or even some version of it, is highly partisan, highly controversial.
It's
bigger picture.
No, you quiet for a second. It's not.
Also, the phrase Republicans jamming this thing through,
Inflation Reduction Act, anybody?
it's called a vote. If they vote and they have 50% of them or more, that's called a vote. That's what you do. They're not jamming it through.
Isn't it going to hurt faith in our election process if a Republican-only policy to change how elections are run is rammed through 100 days?
My God, I didn't know she continued to talk about that point when I made my little interjection there. Who is that?
Face the Nation.
Oh, my gosh.
CBS.
Change the way we do elections.
It's like she wants to change the way we do legislation and say you got to have a bipartisan support or it doesn't count.
Wait, which is it? Are they changing the way that we do elections, or is this already illegal? Because I've been told that all this already is illegal. We need to put it in there.
It's like a 90-10 issue at this point, voter ID. And she's like, this is a highly partisan thing. Yeah, how come? Yeah, here's a question for you, lady. Why is it that the Democrats aren't listening to the highly bipartisan supported issues included in the Save America Act? Talk to the Democrats! That's all.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. The $5,000 sweepstakes is back with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Since 1926, celebrating 100 years. The genuine, the original Overhead Door. That's where winners go.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
The Retirement Advisory Group and me and Mark are going to be at the DoubleTree in Chesterfield, August 11th. It's a Tuesday. 6:30 p.m. is when the event starts. I get there from 6 to 6:30. Got to get there early, but I'd love to meet you. Would you want to come hang out with us for a little bit? Mark and myself and Mark, there's two of them. We will be there for the Retirement Advisory Group's Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Bob and Tammy Kershaw, they are experts, and they're also really kind, nice people. I think you'll notice that as soon as you meet them. These are folks like us that are just really, really great at understanding how to help you get from where you are right now, working and dreaming of retirement, to making that transition in your late 50s, early 60s, mid 60s, whatever, to get into the retirement of your dreams. Reserve your spot at this free event. I get there at 6, and I'm there to hang out with you for 30 minutes before the event starts. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494. RetirementKey.com.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777. Suspect in Seattle. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson just confirming the person arrested after a deadly shooting during a festival near the Space Needle yesterday is just 15 years old. 3 people were killed, at least 4 wounded, including a 2-year-old boy who remains hospitalized.
This is an all-hands-on-deck response. Investigating this tragedy has been taken on by nearly every part of our police department.
Wilson says the 15-year-old is being held in juvenile detention for investigation of assault and firearms violations. The search continues for a second suspect. Investigators have said they believe the 2 suspects were shooting at each other. The man convicted of killing 4 university students in Idaho, stabbing them to death in 2022, wants to reopen his murder case. Court records show Brian Kohberger has filed a petition seeking post-conviction relief, telling the New York Times he'll argue he had bad counsel.
Kohberger saying, quote, my actual innocence is my truth, and the plea hinged on by false promises and blatant disinformation must be withdrawn. Kohberger, who had court-appointed representation in his trial, did not discuss evidence against him, which included his DNA being found on a knife sheath recovered at the scene.
Fox's Christian Goodwin, he was sentenced last summer to 4 life terms without parole. A renewed public plea in the search for Nancy Guthrie, who's been missing from her Arizona home for nearly 6 months.
Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end.
Savannah Guthrie posting a new video.
I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end.
The family is still offering a reward of more than $1 million on top of more than $200,000 from the FBI and other groups. Just getting word of a tornado in Winnebago County, Wisconsin, northwest of Milwaukee. People posting images of extensive damage in Appleton, including cars flipped over and roof and siding stripped from homes. No word yet on any injuries. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, one simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It is the hottest day of the week, maybe even the hottest day so far this summer. Sunny, hot, a real soupy feel out there. 99 to 100 degrees for the actual high. The heat index 110 plus. Clear, very humid tonight. 79 for the low. Tuesday, sunny, still humid. 93, 89 and lower humidity Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For goodness sake, Liz, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not American.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Can you hear me? Tap, tap. Is this thing on?
You can hear you.
I can hear. Well, my headphones aren't working because they don't work. I've talked about this before. I've got a oh, there we go. I love my headphones, but one of the ears doesn't work right because of the cord that I use. And I've asked Master and Dynamic if I can get a new cord. They don't make them anymore.
I think you're going to have to completely replace your headphones.
I think so, too. And I'm very sad about that. And because these are not cheap, but they just don't make good wired. No, that's not true. They make good wired headphones. They don't make cool looking ones.
I know. I'm wearing the uncool looking ones.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Everybody is. They're all black and they all look like big cans on the side of your head. And I don't like that. I like these. Anyway, I'm going to run the board this week, at least in the 2 o'clock hour. Maybe throughout the course of the entire show. I did this earlier, maybe a year ago, kind of going into the holiday season. I remember I was trying to learn, and I'm going to try it again. They redid the studio. We've talked about that many times, and so now, since the studio is remade, I'm going to try to hone my skill set and do something different here. So if it sounds terrible, it's because Ryan's making me nervous.
Okay. It'll be my fault. No matter what this hour is. Just pin the blame on me.
Don't you have to take one for the team that way?
Yeah, I think so.
So, okay.
You're trying.
I am trying.
You'll do fine.
I have a story that I have to tell. And I'm trying to figure out how to tell this story in a way that is, because this is something that happened to us this weekend. There was a tweet by Matt Walsh. Now, he's like taken the role of the Grouch. Like, isn't he the Oscar the Grouch of all things talk content? He just comes out and is grouchy about everything. I think he's right 75% of the time, if not more. I agree with him, but his presentation is always one that is very grouchy. I'm not opposed to it. It's his thing. I get it.
I would say it's comedically grouchy.
Yeah.
Because I still think it's funny.
Yeah, like I said what I said kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But when he says what he says, it's always like, okay, well.
But it's funny because a lot of the things that he says are just dynamic points that need to be made.
Mhm.
And then the other half are like, you know what I think about the LA 76ers? It'll just be like, I don't care, but I will listen.
He tweeted out, Ethan's back in the studio with us here, because this has to do with youth sports. And I don't, there's a situation that developed over the weekend, and I still can't believe that it's actually real. And Matt Walsh tweets this, and I thought this kind of ties in nicely. Tell me if you agree with this statement. Youth sports went completely insane at some point over the past several years. Parents spending thousands of dollars, devoting multiple days a week, traveling all around, all so their kid can obsessively play a particular sport and then graduate high school and never play it again. I actually think the, quote, everybody's a winner, the score doesn't matter approach was preferable to this. Bring back the participation trophies if this is the alternative. Thoughts? We just talked with Kevin Wheeler on Friday for almost an hour about the peril of super expensive and competitive youth sports and the deterioration of certain elements of it.
I very much put this in that category of stuff that I think he's just being contrarian on.
Troll?
Yes.
He's saying something that he knows people will react to.
Well, nobody in their right mind right now is saying, you know what everybody needs is a participation trophy. So naturally.
But I think his point is that the current state of expensive and self-indulgent youth sports is worse than something that's already really bad. Like, it's more of a statement of everybody agrees the participation trophy thing is bad. It's worse now.
Okay, hot take, but that's because that's what hot takes are. Like, that's all he does is hot takes.
Yeah.
And in a way, I love what he does, because even if I don't agree with this point in particular, and I'm not neither here nor there on this point, but he brings up things that need to be talked about that you didn't realize need to be talked about.
In a really bombastic way so that people talk about it.
In a way that gets your attention, and he's really good at it. And so in a sense, he's grabbing an issue that does need to be addressed. I would say maybe we beat him to the punch on this one a little bit. But
maybe he listens to the show, right?
Maybe Dave Rubin told him to.
So here's what happened to us over the weekend. And this is the reason why I think that this tweet conflates everything that we experienced this weekend. So my son plays on a travel baseball team. Love the organization. No problems with that, whatever. He plays on that, but he also plays in a rec league. And the rec league it's the Metro East Recreational Baseball League. They call it MERBL. And it's MERBL. Yes. I love this league because I've watched my son play in, kind of like the select ball since he was, I think 8U was the first time that he played it, because he did 2 years of Little League. And then we went into this, and I've talked about this before, but my husband essentially created a club so that we could insulate our families and the other families that wanted to participate from some of the hyper politicized, overly expensive, we did everything we could to keep costs down. We didn't pay any coaches. My husband always volunteered. Not only did he never make a dollar off of it, my family has spent a lot of money on things that we wouldn't have had to should we not be participating in this way. So we've been in the select or the travel ball thing for quite some time, but always kind of in a way that we tried to manage going, all in on this, that, and the other thing. I don't have any problems with the travel ball team situation that we're on. Now, this rec league, it's championed as a rec league. And when these boys play in this league, everybody plays. People rotate around different positions throughout the course of every game. I think it's all roster bat. You bring 13 kids, 15 kids that night, you're batting 15. That's just the way it is. Well, they had playoffs this weekend. Started last Tuesday. And then there was a doubleheader, and then so if you won that, you moved on, and you played in a quarterfinal. I think on Friday night we played a quarterfinal. The boys won that game, and then at 5:00 on Saturday night, we were supposed to play Sunday afternoon in the semifinal to get into the World Series.
This is for the rec league.
For the rec league.
Okay.
My husband gets a phone call and a voicemail that our team has been disqualified from the playoffs. And it turns out that we played 2 players who were considered ineligible players in one of the playoff games that we had, because they have a rule that's part of that specific league that you have to play in 30% of the season games in order to qualify to play in the playoffs.
Okay.
It's a rule. It's in the book. We played these 2 players, so they disqualified the whole team from being able to participate in the playoffs anymore. So these boys lost the opportunity to continue to compete. But here's the rub. One of the kids was not able to make multiple games because I think they had a loved one that they had to stay at home and take care of. Not a player that's a ringer, but a contributor and whatever. But I think they played in 3 or 4 games in the season. This season is 13 games. I think we were 12-1 going into this. The other guy got injured.
Oh.
And he came back and he played in 1 game and he was the DH. He didn't play a position or whatever. None of these guys were the pitcher, the 3-hitter, any of that. These are not ringers that we brought in. They were on the roster at the beginning of the year. They paid their $150 fee, and they both had reasons why they didn't play in more games during the season. And we didn't know the rule, so we screwed that up. But you would think that in an instance like this, there would maybe be an exception, or maybe say you guys can't play with these guys in the future. They were not contributors in the games that we won in the playoffs that really thrust us into being a more competitive team. There were no advantages trying to be taken in this instance. But here's the thing. One of the coaches from the other teams found the Game Changer, which for people who don't know what Game Changer is, it's the app that you can kind of keep stats on. A volunteer grandma on our team keeps track of all of this stuff. They went through our app and counted up our players who played and filed a grievance that day.
And won.
There are 0 official records. There are no books. There's no official book. There are 0 official records. No other team, if we wouldn't have had a Game Changer that people could see, and we weren't trying to hide anything. And I understand if you break a rule, you'd think that there would be common sense. There's the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. They went through our Game Changer because it was public, so that mom and dad can see it if they're traveling and they want to watch their kid's game or whatever. They submitted it. And they're like, okay, fine. Well, they're disqualified. So we found that out on Saturday night. We tried to lobby. My husband was like, suspend those kids and suspend him. Kick him out of the dugout. Let the kids play. Let the kids compete. The other team we were going to play in that semifinal was a good team. They could have lost anyway, but don't take this away from the kids. Well, so we had to forfeit our 1 p.m. game. And we're disqualified. The season was done. We had 2 kids on our team that are seniors. That was going to be their last game. And they didn't know that they played in their last game when their last game happened. Well, we had a 1 p.m. baseball game that we didn't show up for. The teams that were supposed to play after us were like, hey, what happened to this team? What happened to this game? And then they found out that the team had been disqualified by the league. The 3 o'clock game starts. And the 3 o'clock game gets called in the middle of the game because the heat is too bad. And they're like, we're going to postpone this. We're going to fix it later. Game had already started. Coach from one of the teams, a team I think that was losing, found out how we had gotten disqualified, went through the other team's Game Changer, found an ineligible player, and they disqualified that team too. In a rec league. Is this how, I'm sitting here very close to the sun on this issue, but is this crazy?
Okay, hang on, because this is a little bit crazy, but the spirit of the law is good, though, because it would stop select players, ringers, from being brought in.
They said that the reason this law, like you said, that the purpose this law was put in is teams would roster 30 players.
Uh-huh.
The good players don't come during the season, and they show up, and they dominate at the end. So the spirit of the law, like you said, good rule.
Yeah.
Good precedent. Keep it rec.
But then if that is the rule, though, you'd think that the league would check that before the playoffs start.
That's the part that is bugging me. Who's this coach? I want to go and punch him in the face. That's what I want to do.
It's a rec league.
Freaking jerk. You care.
No violence advocated here.
You care. Yeah, not really, but like kind of, but you care that much to where you're going to go scroll through past Game Changer like feeds? Like, get a life, dude. Like, go let your kids play ball.
Make them compete and win.
Here's the thing. I would even understand if it was a guy that came in and hit 4 home runs in the playoffs and had a complete game shutout and just dominated and was a big part.
Those kids never pitched. They didn't catch. They didn't, like, the one guy was a DH. The other guy was a left fielder. And the reason, like, if somebody were to say, why did these guys play in 3 games during the season and then show up for playoffs? And we could say one of them is injured and one of them had personal issues that they had to attend to, still came to like 3 of the games.
Yeah, that's just so bogus. So, I mean, the more frustrating part is that the league was just like, oh, yeah, that happened. I guess we'll kick them out. It just, I mean, it's being ran like a rec league, which is fine.
That's true.
Like, that's whatever. But, like, if you're not going to find it yourself and a coach is going to be the one to rat it out, it just seems very petty that, like, okay, we have to knock this team out because they have a good chance of beating us and we want to win the league. Like, it's not a bad thing to want to win, but like...
But you got to compete to win.
Like, yeah, that's so ridiculous. That's slimy. That is so slimy.
So the way that I would assume that it would be reconciled is, okay, you call the league and go, hey, this is our case here. And the league goes, our hands are kind of tied. And like you said, it's a rec league.
Sure.
Ideally, they would be checking these things before the playoffs start.
Doesn't it?
But
to insert here, though, but doesn't it first and foremost matter that there are no official records kept of anything?
It does matter.
Like you're not checking the other teams, and if they don't have a game changer,
who is doing this?
Yeah, like what if the information in Game Changer isn't even right? I mean, we didn't even have time to verify. Like maybe a kid was there, but he didn't play that day because he had a headache or something, so it doesn't register. We didn't have time to do any of that because we found out with less than 24 hours before we were supposed to play that we were disqualified. But then to go and to do that to another team in the middle of a postponed game because of heat. Because they found out that we got disqualified by that rule.
So it wasn't the same coach that did it for both teams, was it?
I don't know the specifics on it, but I was told, and so it's hearsay, but I was told that coach was there and informed the coach that was in the middle of the game what had happened and how they had figured it out.
But now you're going to be in a terrible spot if you're this league because you've had it happen twice in the playoffs. You just ruined the playoffs, by the way. Good job, league. Good job, rec league.
I think it's possible they ruined the league.
They may have, and now you're going to have someone constantly checking this. If you don't,
you have to have official records.
You're going to really screw this up. So
I think it's
job.
I think it's so sad.
I'm trying to put my mind where the other's coach could have been. And I'm trying to find like an actual justification, not that this is what he was thinking, but what if he was saying, well, we've seen this before where people bring ringers in,
sure,
and we're just protecting our guys. We don't have official records, but you kept them, and they are public. So we found 2 guys who don't meet that qualification. They might be ringers, but then the coach from the opposite team, you guys, the way you'd fix it is you go to the coach and you go, hey, here's the actual situation.
Yeah.
These aren't ringers. They're not select guys. They just have had issues throughout the season, one with personal stuff, the other with injury. Then you'd play the game. Because if you're the coach, no matter even if you have good justification, you hear that from the other coach and you go, okay, let's play.
Good morality.
Let's
right?
play.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point.
All that Jared got was a voicemail because he didn't get to the phone to answer it in time. A voicemail that said you've been disqualified. There's no game at 1:00. There was never any discussion before we found out when we were disqualified. Then my husband called him back like a dozen times that night to try to get. They didn't answer, and then in the morning, it's like, Jared, your season's over.
That's not
it's like,
good.
oh my God, what
that
are we
was not
doing?
handled well.
If I told my husband, I'm like, if this was a beer league and there were a bunch of people acting like punks and they were kind of finally getting what they deserved because someone could use a rule against them, I would kind of go, well, don't be jerks. And don't put yourself in a position where people don't want to give you the benefit of the doubt. But this was to kids. It's just it blows my mind. And I'm really sad about it. We ended up having a wiffle ball game and a home run derby at our own field, and Jared grilled a bunch of food, and we did it at 1:00 when our game was supposed to happen. And I think the boys ended up having a good time anyway. But like, what a shame! Am I right? Shame.
That is ridiculous.
I'm glad you guys think it's ridiculous. And I don't think I'm telling a version of the story that is fully subjective.
They should have talked to you guys. They should have at least just talked it through with you.
That makes you think it's not good faith.
They said it's a rule. It's a rule.
Clowns. Suddenly.
Text us your thoughts, 314-241-9797. We'd love to find out what you think about it. So HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the outlet that you need to call so that you can get that basement waterproofed once and for all. And I know that when you reach out to Matt Hayes and you start talking to him, you're going to understand why we have such a good relationship with him. He's been partnering with 97.1 for quite some time. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. When you talk to Matt Hayes and you're looking for that basement waterproofing solution once and for all, you're going to learn the experience that he has, the service that he provides, the customer service that he attends to. It all is wrapped up in Home Shield Foundation Repair, which is a St. Louis family-owned local business. Foundation Repair includes basement waterproofing, but it also includes fixing piering issues that you might have if you've noticed some cracks in your walls. Maybe you have foundation settling and you need to get ahead of it before it gets worse. They can help you with that. They can also help you even out, flatten out that broken, cracked concrete where part of it is settled through a system called polyjacking. They are there to guide you through the process and make it comfortable, make sure you understand everything that you're dealing with so that you get a solution that you can trust with people you can trust. It's 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900. You can find them online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Spring is here in St. Louis, and if you're thinking about selling, now's the time. But timing is only part of it. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, why is it still so important to choose the right realtor?
Simple. Not every home is selling fast or for top dollar. Here's the difference. I already have the buyers. With over 2,400 buyers in waiting, I'm not just listing your home. I'm matching it with demand. That's how I offer my guaranteed sale program. We sit down, agree on the price and timeline, and if your home doesn't sell, I'll buy it myself. But my goal isn't to buy your home. It's to sell it for the most money possible in the least amount of time. And that's exactly what my system does. My clients don't have to hope their home sells. I guarantee it.
If you're selling your home this spring, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Hold up! Check it out.
Sports and local.
Do a job, Ethan.
Oh my gosh, it's the most perfect one for this hour.
Do a job.
Do a job, Ethan. 100%. Did people say that when you play ball?
Oh, yeah.
It's that old?
Yeah, it is.
Is that a sports thing?
Do a job,
yes.
kid? Oh, yeah.
That's what the coach says.
Okay.
Hey, James, you want to go ahead and put that in manual? I may or may not have put it in a spot too early. That works too.
I'm running the board, folks. Ethan's trying to help me.
Might have to fix that up a little bit, James, while we're
little,
talking here in a moment. But it's sports and local time, and it's sponsored by All Financial. Annie is running the board if you guys hadn't figured out yet. Let's see if Annie
if you haven't figured out yet, and you can't tell.
Let's see if Annie can figure out what I screwed up and how she can fix it.
People turn the radio and go, "Oh, that sounds
is
like
he going
Annie's
out there?
on the board."
Yeah, exactly.
He's going.
Is he going to fix it?
He's going to. Go
I kind of wanted to.
It's Emmanuel. You're good.
You're doing fine. You're doing great.
I'm going to pause here and let you do this thing.
Do your thing. Do a job.
James, do a job. Do a job, kid.
He's doing a job, kid.
Do a job, kid.
The Cardinals did not do a job this weekend.
They did.
That's a great job.
No job.
Good job.
It's hard to watch Cardinals baseball right now, unfortunately. The Reds were in town. The Reds left town with a 2-1 series win yesterday in yesterday had to have been the hottest day of the year, right?
Oh my
gosh, I think it's the hottest day ever.
Well, listen, this was when we were supposed to be playing baseball yesterday, like I said, and they postponed the game in the middle of it, and then all of us goons are out there playing wiffle ball and home run derby. Like, we don't actually really have to be out here, but we were. It was so hot.
At least then you can wear shorts, and the dudes can go shirtless. It's not like you're having to wear baseball pants.
It's another
and a
sexist
jersey.
thing about this country.
Scott Air Force Base yesterday got to a heat index of 130.
So yeah, I think I saw it was 124
Like
downtown.
what? It's like the national debt. It's like, why not 160?
Yeah, just go down. Yeah,
just keep going.
Who cares at this point?
There was somebody, I think it was Max Velocity, tweeted the heat index picture, and it's like, so everyone in St. Louis is dead.
I saw that.
It's like,
Yeah.
can confirm.
130 heat index. That's why grocery prices are still so high.
Hate to see it.
Global warming,
Global
right?
warming is why. Yeah, yeah. The Inflation Reduction Act.
I thought they fixed that.
That's what it was supposed to do, but when you get so high, like you're saying, it doesn't matter.
Is that what they tell you?
That's what they tell me.
5-3 was the final score in yesterday's game. Cardinals losing against the Cincinnati Reds. Ivan Herrera, solo home run. Alec Burleson, 3 hits and an RBI. The Cardinals have lost now 7 of their last 10 since coming out of the All-Star break. This game was tied going into extra innings. The Cardinals gave up 3 runs in the top of the 10th, scored 1 in the bottom of the 10th. Kyle Leahy had a really good start, though. That's been the most frustrating part, is the pitching or the starting rotation through the last 7 games has an ERA of 2.74, and they won 2 of those 7 games. So you're getting really good starts, but you're just not getting enough offense right now.
Or not at the right times.
Yeah.
Because they've had games where they were up 7-0.
Yeah, they've had a couple of games coming out of the All-Star break when they've scored enough runs to where you should be able to win a game. Scored 6 runs in a game that they lost.
I need to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we bad?
I mean,
like Michael Jackson bad?
No, we're not Michael Jackson bad. That's for sure. We are. I think that I would say that the Cardinals are playing at the level that a lot of people expected them to, and they're going through a lull right now. They had a really good first half, playing some bumpy baseball, but that's kind of what you expected. It's a young team, and they were going to have their moments of bad baseball throughout the year or going through slumps. So I wouldn't go out and say that the Cardinals are just straight up bad. No, I would not say that. In large part, it's still been a really encouraging season. There's been a lot of good things to take from this year. They're just going through a really rough stretch right now, and the hope is that they're going to be able to shake this, but not exactly the team you want coming into town. If you're the Cardinals, the Cubbies are in town. They've been playing really good baseball.
What team do we want to come to town? What team would be good right now?
Probably.
I got a rec team that's available.
The Angels or the Reds, teams that we just lost series to are probably the teams we would have wanted to come into town. So, maybe the Cubs are exactly what we need. It's a really good team, and
we need
maybe
to feel like we got a
what
challenge.
Will mix things up.
Maybe we want to play ourselves.
Anyone?
Stop winning against ourselves.
Trade deadline is 8 days away. Next Tuesday. No, next Monday. It's 7 days away. I lied. So we'll see what exactly the Cardinals end up doing.
We're going to be buyers?
No. We will not be buyers. We talked on Friday about the most exciting event of the year.
Oh, yeah. How was it, Ethan?
No. Annie.
What?
How was it, Ryan?
Ryan, how was it?
It was hot.
Nude.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
dank.
I didn't even think about that. It was so hot out.
It was hot.
Sweat.
Yeah.
Oh, now
God.
it's gross to Eden. That's
Oh.
fantastic.
Right. If it was nice weather, then it's hot. You know what I mean? But it was hot, and so it was just dangly.
Oh my gosh! Which button is his microphone here? Let me.
He is
it this
Mike
one?
2. He's Mike 2.
I can turn it back.
Yeah, he can.
Oh, you can. Don't do that.
That's good radio. Hundreds of cyclists
I'm
took
really
the
worried
streets
about my mental health right now. Thank you.
of St. Louis on Saturday for the 18th annual World Naked Bike Ride. It was first held in 2007. It's drawn more than 2,000 cyclists in various gatherings throughout the year. And
But the attire's always the same.
These nude cyclists, they traveled several miles in highly visible areas within the city of St. Louis. And, of course, as we talked about, the organizers encourage the riders to go as bare as you dare. So some cyclists participated without
How
any
naked would you get at one of these
clothing
things
at
if
all.
it was for a good cause, Ryan?
What is a good cause?
Anything that I don't know.
It's got to be like a really good cause.
Save children.
Like children are going to die.
Yeah,
and
Ryan.
Because
How
I
naked
am,
would you get for the kids? Oh, don't answer the question. Just
You know what they need to be riding
No,
for is
please
like
don't.
Bibles in Mongolia. Like something really genuinely good. And you go, well, I'm really torn now because I'm not sure how I feel about the event. You know what else
no, nothing.
is it's called the World Naked Bike Challenge or whatever. But they go what? How many,
Great
2
intel.
miles?
3.
3 miles?
It's like they don't even really mean it.
Yeah, don't call yourself the World Naked Bike Challenge
Do
if you're going
better.
3 miles around St. Louis.
I think the idea is that there are different ones going on around the country.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do. We literally know that.
Do you?
It happens in dozens of U.S.
The hottest
We
weekend
literally
in
know
the
this.
history of the world, and we're like, let's get naked and ride bikes.
I feel like there's some way to know that, though. Are
Yes.
you pushing us out? We're
No,
having a
I'm
good
glad.
time.
No, it's okay.
I'm pretty sure we're 5
Push us
minutes
out.
late.
Push, keep pushing. Push harder.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
For just one moment.
Civia Law, online at civialaw.com. I want to encourage you to reach out to Todd Civia right now at 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. Talk to Todd Civia about getting your estate plan established right now. Because when you reach out to Civia Law and you mention my name, Annie, you're going to be one of the first 10 people to call. You're going to get that free strategy session. It's a $300 savings. If you mention my name, you can be talking to them about estate planning, elder law concerns. Civia Law does a lot of different things. If you go to civialaw.com, you will find out all the different ways they help you through life's transitions. But get that will and that trust and that power of attorney established. They're proud of their 2-week turnaround of your completed documents from that initial strategy session appointment, which you don't have to pay for that strategy session if you're one of the first 10 callers to Civia Law right now. The number is 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. And when you reach out to Todd Civia, make sure you mention the Annie Frey Show, and you will quickly understand how you can save on that initial strategy session and get those completed documents done right away. Todd Civia is the best. He's in Missouri and Illinois alike, and he's waiting for your phone call. Online at civialaw.com.
Hey there, it's Jill Schlesinger. I'm launching a new show. It's called Money Moves, and your money is going to move. We're going to help you make better financial decisions. We're going to call out the BS you're finding all over social media. We're going to give you actionable guidance to make your financial life clearer, less stressful. We're going to answer your financial questions and take the mystery out of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger wherever you get your podcasts.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? You can say yes because you support her, yes because you don't and she's terrible and you want her to run again, or no. Some of the comments that we've gotten on the stream are this one from FR2 says, if we don't want a clown show, we've got to stop sending clowns. And then this one says, no, because I just don't want to have to hear from her all the time. Let us know. That is the YouTube live chat poll. It is 2:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quince.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So this weekend, I didn't even really know this. I don't know if it's because I'm not paying enough attention or if it's because it didn't get covered really the way it normally would. But the White House Correspondents' Dinner was again. And I didn't really know that was on tap. Did you?
Actually, yeah. I for whatever reason, I must have tuned into Twitter right when it was happening because I saw a lot about it. No, I guess I didn't see a lot leading up to it.
To me, it was like, all of a sudden there's a scuttlebutt about the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and some people were not happy and some people were. It's like a summation of every story. But it was maybe within 12 hours of the thing actually happening.
I saw that everybody that I was seeing on Twitter anyway, because I'm watching it through clips, of course, is saying that Trump was really on. I mean, he was like in his element.
Man, the clips I saw, he pulled zero punches.
Yeah, and one of the things that he said that I thought was interesting is that he knows that everybody thinks that the White House Correspondents' Dinner when Obama was president and he was there and he got made fun of a little bit. He says everybody thinks that's when I decided to run, but that's not true. And he told the real story, and it wasn't like a funny story. It was just clarifying the record. He was just saying that I actually had a really good time that night, and those jokes I thought were funny. And so he was looking
like, buckle up.
He was looking real serious when he was there because that's what he does, you know. But he said, I actually thought that was a fun night. So
I didn't hear that clip. I read some stuff. Like, I didn't really watch him deliver a single thing. I read some stuff that kind of bubbled up to the surface because it cut through. But I just didn't feel like this weekend I had the appetite for it.
Okay. Did you hear the main joke that's getting the stories about Dylan Mulvaney?
Yes.
You did hear it? Because people are calling it a Dylan Mulvaney joke, and the headline says that. It's like, well, how did Dylan Mulvaney respond? But ultimately, it was really not.
Glee because he's in the news again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's loving it. But ultimately, he wasn't the one that really took the shot from the joke. I've got it here. It says, okay, Trump said, quote, I thought Caitlyn and I, or sorry, he's talking about Caitlyn Collins from CNN, by the way. I thought Caitlyn had really made it big with major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can, it was Dylan Mulvaney.
So you have President Trump saying that Caitlyn Collins and Dylan Mulvaney look alike.
Yeah, yes.
This is I keep seeing this as feedback online, why people are saying it's a brilliant joke because Caitlyn Collins is not socially permitted to be offended by it.
Yeah, she can't really do much. She's got to be, a journalist.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's that if she were offended by a man who transitioned into being a woman,
I see.
that it'd be like, you think I look like a man? Or, I mean, there are pictures. I'm not here. I don't care about how Caitlyn Collins works. I care, or how she looks. I care about what she does and how she works. Caitlyn Collins, when I went to the White House, was standing, like I could have put my arm around her when the Philadelphia Eagles were being acknowledged for winning the Super Bowl.
You should have.
I gotta hug you, but it's from Ryan Wiggins.
No, it's from Gary Vood.
Gary Vood, exactly. I didn't talk to her. I thought about it. I was like, if I could talk to her, what would I talk to her about? But I was at other people's work when I was there. And yes, me being there, I am a member of the press. I am a member of the media. I was in the press pool when I was there. But it's kind of like know your role, read the room, Annie. It seemed like if I were to go be there and be even perceived as harassing the other members of the press in the press pool, that I didn't think that was the right look. I was trying to learn and observe and absorb so much when I was there. And I just thought to myself, like, do I have a good question to ask Caitlyn Collins? And no question that I could come up with didn't require way too much explaining to begin with. So I just didn't. But, she worked in that room among the press the way everybody else did. And she's employed to do a job. And, what we see her do is not favorable to the president. It's generally combative to the president. I am not opposed to a press that is adverse in a press room, because I think that we should hold our political elected officials who hold power, we should hold their feet to the fire all the time. And a Republican should not be disqualified from that because they think a lot of the same things that I think. But at the same time, people who are hypocrites about it, that's what I have a big problem with. If you're out there, and as we're seeing with a lot of the Fauci diary installments, having dinner with Jake Tapper, friendship developing or whatever the thing is, and then finding out that Fauci is feeding questions to favorable members of the press that were favorable to Fauci, but not to the administration. That's where, like, okay, are you actually out there advocating under the protections of the First Amendment and a free press? Are you actually out there doing your job on behalf of the people, or are you doing it on behalf of a political ideology or party or power structure? Because if it's not for the people, then I'm not really there to defend your questioning of the people in power, because you're not doing it for the people, you're doing it for your own political ideology. And I feel as though that's what CNN does on the regular. It is a smart joke because Donald Trump is essentially baiting all of the people who hate him for how mean a joke is. Is it mean to Caitlyn Collins? Is it mean to Dylan Mulvaney? Is it mean to all transgender people? Or is it a compliment that Dylan Mulvaney looks so feminine that she and Caitlyn Collins resemble one another?
That's what it was.
It's not a discussion that can be had by anybody. So it's kind of just like out there. It's like lingering. Like, it's just lingering. I'm not going to make a crude reference, but it's lingering.
So two things.
Everybody knows it's there, but nobody wants to talk about it.
One is that Mulvaney responded and said,
what did he say?
I'm incredibly honored to be compared to her in any way, and I hope that she continues doing all the great work.
And then Dylan should be like, Caitlyn, what do you think?
And then, and he goes on to say, quote, it seems to me that I might be the one that got away for these men, like I'm permanently burned into their retinas.
Dylan?
Yeah, he said that about the people making the jokes, including Trump.
Well, if notoriety is your complete and total goal, I mean, congratulations.
By the way,
you've got a royal flush.
Over the course of this conversation, I think I've come up with the perfect, succinct question you could have. And next time you go to the White House, you can ask Caitlin Collins, because it's another one of those perfect questions that she would not really know how to respond. 4 words. Are you with CNN? Because no matter how you cut it, she would have to just say yes. But then also you'd be insulting her by saying you had no idea who she was.
It's just, of all of the things that were said, they all seemed really mean. And I'm not really like into that
I know.
to begin with. So, I don't know. All right, we'll wrap up the show here. Can you set me up here with the YouTube live chat poll? People can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote in the live broadcast, the live chat, but also you can text us at 314-241-9797. Let us know what you think. The poll?
Do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? Yes, I support her is the first answer. Yes, she's terrible, so you want her to run again because you think she'd lose. Or no. Those are your 3 options to today's poll.
Go vote. Results when we come back. Don't go away. Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. I encourage you to reach out to them. Oh my gosh, you probably know right now, is your AC working the way it's supposed to? Are you checking on your loved ones? That's another huge thing right now. If you've got mom and dad at home and they are, trying to stay inside, trying to stay cool, make sure that the house is in 85 degrees and that they're suffering in there. If you need to have someone come out and take care of that, you can call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. 24/7 emergency service. They are ready to go. They are ready to make sure that you are taken care of. It doesn't matter if it's the middle of the night, if it's a holiday, whatever it is. If you have an AC that is not functioning properly, especially in this incredibly dangerous heat, you need to call people who you can trust the first time. Our house, we've called them in an emergency situation, and they've come out multiple times. 314-513-0091. Plus, we trusted them to install, I think, a new AC, furnace, water heater, and they also did a duct sealing on the ductwork throughout our house to make sure that our house is heated and cooled evenly. If you need somebody you can trust, it's Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here. Don't be fooled by those deceptive ads you're hearing on Missouri Amendments 4 and 5. Get the truth. I'll explain all of the amendments and key local races. Download my August voter guide at 971talk.com.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. usmensmedicalcenter.com.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Have you heard those ads claiming Amendment 4 stops conservative amendments?
That's not true. It actually stops a couple big cities from pushing radical ideas into our Constitution. Remember 2024? Only 8 out of 114 counties voted to allow transgender surgeries on children.
That's terrifying. We can't let just a handful of counties rule the whole state.
Exactly. Amendment 4 requires broad statewide support and keeps foreign money out of our elections. Vote yes on 4 this August 4th.
You convinced me. I'm voting yes too.
Paid for by Freedom Principle MO, Missouri First PAC, Kate Sickles, Treasurer.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We've got a YouTube live chat poll. We're asking you about Kamala Harris, and people might be like, why are we talking about Kamala Harris? Well, it turns out that there are a lot of rumors suggesting that she is ready and raring to go to be the nominee once again. And we're wondering how you're feeling about that. What's your response to this question? Do you want to see Kamala Harris run again? Yes, because you support her. Yes, because she's terrible, or no?
I would say yes, because she's terrible. I would like to see her run. I would like to see her run as long as I know she's going to get the primary nod. The problem is if she runs and she gets beaten by somebody, then that person looks very strong. And that could be a problem.
If she runs and
she gets beaten by another Democrat.
Yeah.
Because she would be the sort of de facto front runner. And if she gets beaten by somebody, that person looks really strong. And it would be easy for somebody to beat her. So I almost am talking myself out of it. But if she's the actual nominee, then I'm all for it.
You want her to try?
I'll say yes. I'll say yes.
Because
she's terrible.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Ethan? Having covered Kamala Harris to some extent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it not that deep. What you said, Ryan, makes sense. I just don't know who would be in the mix.
Yeah, I'm fully in strategic mode
here.
Sure.
Sure. I'm going to say yes.
Because you support her.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. I mean,
there was the T-shirt that gives it away.
There was just.
Well, I don't say that when Jordan Walker's on your T-shirt.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see your T-shirt when I said that.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
There was just, I mean, watching that all unfold leading up to the election in 2024 and getting to be a part of the daily, watching her just absolutely fumble it was so entertaining. I mean, the word salad, the constant making fun of the way she talks because she just sounds off.
Yeah.
On top of like avoiding interviews, and when she does do an interview, it's all edited. It was just amazing how the media just tried to conjure it all up and make her seem all buttoned up, when in reality, I mean, I believe she had no idea what she was doing. So why wouldn't you want that again, you know? So I'll say kind of blanket statement, yes.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I want a big fat no in this. I'm done with Kamala Harris. I was never not done with Kamala Harris. I think she's an absolutely terrible candidate. I think the Democrats have gotten so used to installing people, and it's like the less that the person stands for, the more they can be manipulated from the background. And Kamala Harris, man, it was just like two on the face. It was two on the surface that this is exactly how they would go with her. She doesn't stand for anything. Like, I asked you this question a while ago. Kamala Harris, what would be her crowning achievement? If Kamala Harris would have been elected president, what would be the thing she would have pursued? What was a campaign promise that she was making that would have been at the epicenter of her presidency?
She was going to finally close the border.
Yeah, borders are.
I hate that answer.
Well,
she was entrusted to be in charge of it as vice president.
They needed Congress to act first, so her hands were tied.
That's just could not be more. I know that you're being facetious here, but like, no, there was zero that Congress did going into the closed border, the policed border that we have right now. Nothing that they did that she couldn't have done, that Joe Biden couldn't have done at the time themselves.
Well, then I'll switch my answer based on that. Then and I'll say that I think she probably would have run on the great job that she did with inflation. That she would have done wonders for the economy and brought prices down. Because she had 4 years of an example to show for it.
The deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah.
YouTube poll. Ethan, you got the results for us?
I do. Do you want Kamala Harris to run for president again? 3% say yes because they support her.
Thank you for listening to our show, folks. You 3% are important to me.
32% said flat out no. 65% are hoping that Kamala Harris runs for president because
65% of our audience.
65%. Just under 200 votes.
Oh, gosh. Well, thank you for participating today. We'll be back tomorrow. Got a great lineup for you set out throughout the course of this week. Brad is on vacation. We're filling in. We're doing what we can. And Mark Reardon is coming in the studio next. Don't go away.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by LendSeek.
If you want to make some extra money and declutter at the same time, hold a garage sale.
So you can expect to make somewhere between $500 and $1,000 at a garage sale.
Real estate broker Lisa Stover says garage or estate sales are also a good place to save money on tools, clothes, and sports equipment, especially if you show up on the last day of the sale.
Get a really great deal because that's when they're had.
I'm Rob Hart.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men